champion Alyssa Spencer, who now stands with Caroline Marks as the only surfers to win the Supergirl on both coasts. And congratulations to all the Supergirls who made this event so special. Hotel accommodations provided by the Mission Pacific Hotel, the official hotel partner of the Supergirl Surf Pro. Escape to a fun, spirited boutique set directly on San Diego's North Shore. A very special thanks to the great partners that supported the event, including Visit Oceanside, Oceanside Longboard Surf Club, Full Sail University, Matt and Ryan McDevitt, iHeartMedia, the artists, instructors, speakers, and influencers who made this event so special, and to all the amazing volunteers.
Want to turn hair loss into hair gains? With Hims, discover a range of prescription treatments in a variety of convenient forms, like the quick-drying 4-in-1 spray. Products are formulated with doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil, so you can stop hair loss and regrow hair in just 3 to 6 months for more confident hair days. Regain thicker, fuller hair now. Get started today at hims.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
And that's ERA, not ERROR.
Only you would say it error that way.
Wow, or spell it that way, but great stuff by Joey Salvia.
There he is. Thanks, Joe.
That's outstanding. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. It's Monday, August 26, 2024, and you're hearing us for the first time on 880, and we are 880 ESPN New York. How about that? How do we sound?
Probably a little worse, but guess what? I can't tell on my headphones, Michael. It sounds the exact same.
Really?
Yes, but I got the chance to tune in some this morning, listen to Rick and Dave, see what it felt like. Of course, I'd reset my preset. I was able to hit 880 and give them a listen. And, of course, right now we're on both, so you have the opportunity to make the switch. And, of course, if you're not into that AM sound, Michael, you always have the opportunity to listen to us on the beautiful ESPN New York app.
I love it. There's so many options.
So many options.
And it's so important now with the football season starting, and then you've got Aaron Judge doing things that really you run out of accolades, you run out of words, because none of us have ever seen this. And that's not hyperbolic. That's simply the truth, because in 101 games, he's hitting over 370 with 47 home runs, and it's never been done before. Never. Those numbers have never been done over 101 games. So when you say, wow, I've never seen anything like this, you're being actual literal. You've never seen this before. And, Don, I'm telling you what, you broadcast the Rangers and you did the Knicks this year as well. I mean, an occasional burst of greatness, you got something. But when it happens like every single day, you almost run out of words to say because you don't want to sound redundant. He really is phenomenal.
Right now, at least during this run, the aberration was Saturday. Like, they lost 9-2, and Judge didn't hit a home run. What's going on? So then he makes up for it the next day, and it's 2. So it is just, it's incredible the run that he's on. And this is Bonds-like, but we know why Bonds was Bonds. So this is like literally going back to a different time in Major League Baseball. And even then that was compromised, because I think the game's harder now than it was back then. I've talked about it before. I mean, you didn't face these in the 6th and 7th inning filthy middle relievers that throw 95-mile-per-hour sliders, and then closers who are lights out. You know, Mickey Mantle probably faced the same pitcher 4 at-bats. And certainly that 4th at-bat, the pitcher was a lot more compromised than he he was in the first at bat. And when they went to a reliever, it was a bad starting pitcher that got exiled to the bullpen and didn't have nearly as good a stuff as the starting pitchers did. I'm not trying to take anything away from the guys that hit in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, but it was a different game. It's so specialized now. It's harder to hit than it was back then. And for him to be putting up numbers that Mantle didn't even put up, that Willie Mays didn't put up, that Babe Ruth didn't put up, it feels like. This is really, really special stuff.
And then you kind of mix it all together in the pot, and you throw Juan Soto in there as well. And it's amazing. And, you know, the back-to-back-to-back home runs for Soto, Judge, and Stanton, I mean, it electrified the crowd yesterday, and the Yankees ended up winning that game. But, I mean, that's the way you draw it up in the front office, Peter, during the offseason. Well, let's put these three together and maybe, and that's exactly what's happened.
No, that's what you dream about when you have three guys like that in the lineup, and you look at Aaron Judge's numbers right now, and it's absolutely astounding. And you can't help but think, if you're greedy, and we know Yankees fans are one thing, Michael, greedy. You can't help but think, imagine if April hadn't been an all-out disaster.
Yeah, he'd be making a run at Bonds of 73. He really would.
He would. You can't tell me if April wasn't that bad. Michael, what was it? A good 5 weeks?
Yeah.
Where we were going, when's he going to wake up? That was sort of my refrain. When are we going to start worrying about Aaron Judge?
And it really, I think the reason why you saw a slow start was because of what happened last year. And what happened last year was the collision with the outfield at Dodger Stadium that injured his toe, that took away what could have been another run at maybe 60 home runs. I mean, we could be looking at 3 years that nobody has ever put up together in the history of baseball. So not only did it compromise the second half of last year for the Yankees and for Judge's totals, I think that's what really hurt Michael that April, because of missing so much time last year and getting off to a bit of a slow start. But now he's found his groove again, and this is what every Yankee fan's dreamed about. The only thing that held us up from really completely falling head over heels in love were the injuries. Like, will he be able to stay healthy? And now we've seen when he is healthy, he's the best player in baseball. He really is. I know that Shohei's going to get a lot of votes for that because he also pitches at an elite level, but not this year. I think that Judge continues to put up these numbers that even Shohei Ohtani pitching well still might not be able to put him in the conversation with Judge.
We're in the middle of Diamond Notes right now, brought to you by London Jewelers and driven to you by Nissan. So you're watching this, and people are saying, is he going to hit 60, 61, 62. Right now he's on pace for 63. But, he's had 7 home runs, I believe, in his last 8 games. It's almost, again, the best comment, I think, was from Giancarlo Stanton on Friday night when he said, Aaron's playing a video game. We're all just grinding. And if you look at what Aaron Judge has done, and then you see what Soto has done. So Soto, in his first year with the Yankees, is having a magnificent season. But you got to be honest with yourself. His season is completely overshadowed by Judge's. I mean, it doesn't even look like it's a special season. And if it wasn't for Judge, it would be Soto that would be battling Bobby Witt Jr. for the MVP. But Judge is going to run away with that award. And to put into perspective how great a season this is, if Judge's season ended tonight before the Yankees play the Nationals, right? And those are his numbers. And 30 years from now, you go online and you look up Judge's career and you see what he did in 2024. That's if his numbers stopped right where they are right now. You know what you'd say? Wow, what a great season.
Yeah.
It's not even September 1st.
Not even September. It is truly, truly incredible. But it also shows you the beauty of baseball, right? That you can have Judge and Soto, and you're still not running away with it, right? You still, I think they're going to win this division, Michael. Baltimore is just not as good as the Yankees, I don't think, at this particular point. But what is it, a game and a half lead? Like, if this were basketball and you had 2 of the best players in basketball, you would pretty much be assured of probably being one of the best teams. But in baseball, it's still about the complete team and everybody else being able to contribute and protecting those guys in the lineup. But they're still in first place, and they still have an excellent chance to win a championship with those 2 guys. But it's still not like they're going to go out there and break the record for wins or win this division by 10 games. It's still probably going to be a struggle to eventually win.
Now, a big story after the game, because after they hit the back-to-back-to-back home runs, Judge takes center and Soto takes right. And then the right field bleacher creatures and some that aren't bleacher creatures sign Soto now, whatever the case may be. They're chanting. And during the game, Paul and I couldn't understand what they were saying. I don't think a lot of people could because they were saying different sorts of things. But we find out afterward that they were urging the Yankees to sign Soto. And that kind of makes me laugh. I understand the urgency to sign Soto. I understand that you want Soto to be signed. Soto does not want to sign now. He does not want to sign in the middle of the season. He's not even negotiating with the Yankees. And then I thought it was just a tad bit disingenuous by him to, when he was asked about it, he said, well, you got to ask Cashman. No. You don't have to ask Cashman. You have to ask Scott Boras.
Well,
you don't ask Cashman. It's not up to This is above Cashman.
Well, I don't think it's being disingenuous. I think it's being very genuine.
How?
Make me the highest paid player, and I'll stay.
But that's not up to Cashman.
Well, I mean,
and also, you will not negotiate now, so don't say talk to Cashman.
Well, I think he's the general manager, so I think.
Well, I mean, the thing would be to say talk to ownership. I mean, who's the one who took over the Aaron Judge contract? It was Hal while he was on vacation in Italy.
Well, I mean, that's just the captain literal man. I think that's just, I guess, who he figures that you're going to be talking to. I think the message he's trying to send out there, I'll sign if you give me the right money. If you make the right offer, then I'll sign.
But he wouldn't sign today if you made him the right offer. He wouldn't.
Well,
That's my point, though.
Well, because you don't know if it's the right offer until there are other people that can match or exceed.
Right. So, he should have said, again, you're right, I'm being captain literal, man. Well, everything will be done in due time at the end of the season. We're trying to win a championship. Don't say go talk to Cashman. That's not fair. It's not Cashman. This contract is above Cashman. This is going to be the largest contract in the history of baseball. It's going to be worth more than Ohtani's because Ohtani's only worth $46 a year. And for those that keep saying, one thing that's bothered me about what people are saying, I think the Yankees are going to be hesitant to have any contract that's higher than Judge. Well, then say goodbye. You got no chance. If you're going to top yourself out at $40 million a year, that's it. He's gone.
And how? But hold on. In what world would Judge not understand that?
Sure, I think that Judge would understand it. But I mean, again, people are starting narratives of whatever. And I don't even know what kind of validity they're based in, but that can't be it. It's like when they talked about the Yamamoto thing, where you can't pay him more than Cole. Listen, contracts go up all the time for the biggest stars in the world. And if you're going to say, okay, our top limit is 36 for Cole and 40 for Judge, then that's it. Those are the last best players you're going to get, unless you somehow develop them in your own farm system. And then when it's time to sign them after 6 years as a free agent, you're going to lose them because you can't cap it out at what Judge has. And I don't think Judge has the sort of ego where he would say, I've got to make the most money. I just don't see it.
Listen, is it a little awkward as Judge plays like the greatest baseball we've ever seen that someone else could get a much bigger deal? Sure, maybe on some level. Guys, Juan Soto was born in 1998. All right? He's 6 years younger. There's just no way. Look at every single Michael, look at every deal we see in every sport. This is what happens. You have to now re-up with every good player every 2 years to make sure they're the highest paid player on your team.
Hey, I think Judge wanted to get paid for his services. No question about it. That's why he tested free agency. But he probably could have gotten more and stayed. It wasn't all about the money with Judge. So if it's not all about the money with Judge, I don't think he'd have a problem with somebody being paid more than him. I think he wants to win a championship. He knows he's got a better chance of that with Soto here. However, I think if things were reversed, then I think you'd be onto something.
What do you mean?
If Soto was the established guy making the most money, he might have a problem with Judge making more than him. Because I do think Soto is about the money. Soto is going to go to the highest bidder. Can we all agree on that? If everything's equal, I think he'll stay with the Yankees because it's the New York Yankees. But he's got Scott Boras. He wants to go to the highest bidder because I think the money matters to him. I'm not being critical of him. I'm just calling it like it is. I think it's about the money. I think it was about money with Judge, but I also think it was about comfort, chance to win, legacy. I think a lot of things factored in because he probably could have gotten more someplace else but stayed with the Yankees.
He definitely would have gotten more. That's why what you're saying is true. It's not. I think he wanted a lot of money because he turned down a big offer before the season began, but he wanted to stay with the Yankees. You could have got more from the Padres. Definitely could have gotten more from the Giants.
Right. So, but I think if the roles were reversed, Michael, then I think Soto might have a problem being with the Judge coming in getting paid more because I do think that's how he keeps score. I don't think it's how Judge keeps score. I think Judge right now is very comfortable where he is. I think he wants to win a championship and knows he's got an easier chance to win a championship if Soto resigns. But I think that comment, yes, it should have been directed to Hal, not Cashman. So I think semantically he probably got it wrong. But I think ultimately he was being genuine because he's saying, hey, I like it here, but I'm going to go to the team that pays me the most money.
I'm sorry, Peter, go ahead.
Sorry, real quick, but in defense of Soto hasn't had the opportunity to really do that yet. I mean, Soto was a kid when he left Washington, right? And he had an opportunity to leave after already winning a World Series and go get a gigantic contract.
He was offered a gigantic contract with the Nationals and still
went even bigger. And I get that, but he did not have. His story at that point with Washington was not the same story as Judge's with the Yankees when he made his choice. And with all due respect to the Nationals, I enjoyed the World Series. It was great. It's not the same as being a Yankee. We can't pretend that it is either. So I hear what you're saying. It just feels like slightly unfair. I don't know that they've had the apples-to-apples experience to say that Soto would necessarily not make the same choice Judge made.
But I think he wants to get other bidders in, and I do agree that if everything is equal, he will stay with the Yankees. That would be the no-brainer. But, Michael, don't you get the sense that he's going to go to the team that pays him the most money?
I do, and I look at Yankee Twitter or Yankee X because people get excited, and I want to see what the thought is. And look at the way he's staying here for sure. Please, everybody, pump the brakes. He's going to go where they pay him the most. He just is. But there was something I was thinking as I was driving home from that game yesterday, and it alludes to what I was just talking about as well. Soto's having a magnificent season. Magnificent. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. But it is really dwarfed by what Aaron Judge is doing. Mm-hmm. So Judge is the alpha on this team. Soto is also an alpha. It's hard for alphas to coexist. In this case, they are. But if you're Soto and the money is somewhat equal and you could go somewhere and be what Aaron Judge is, does Judge's star and spotlight make you think about going somewhere else so you could have that same star and spotlight? Because I'm sorry, as long as Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge, he's the star of the Yankees. As great as Soto is, he's not the star on this team. Is that something that will impact him? I don't know the answer to that. I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't know. I don't know him well enough to know how it works. Now, he was the man in Washington. He had won a championship there post Bryce Harper.
Right.
And yet still wasn't enough money. He wanted to test it to get more. So there was a chance. I understand the Nationals aren't the New York Yankees, but he would have been the man in Washington.
He would.
And have a ring. But he still was swayed by that contract offer. What was it, $440
Yeah, but the one thing I want to say about that contract, it was $440. So we throw $440 out there and we say, wow, look how much he turned down. It came out to $28 million a year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Boris knew that was well under what he's worth. He's worth about $45 to $50 million a year.
Right, so it kind of got thrown out there like he really turned out something huge,
exactly.
But it wasn't that.
I mean, it was generational money. Would have set him up for life. But again, we keep score by how do we compare with other people. Imagine if he's making 20, because just look at Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper signed this mega deal with the Phillies. And he's grossly underpaid.
Well, listen, the times change.
Yes,
Judge is probably underpaid at this point, Michael.
He is.
But just not just based on the way he's played, but how the money has gone. I mean, when at the time it seemed like a monster deal that Soto was offered, but that was before Judge got his deal, and then before Ohtani got his deal with the Dodgers. So obviously the money continues to go up. So that's where you really value a guy like Scott Boras who can read the tea leaves and see where things are going. But he didn't have a great year this year, Boris. His client is, but a lot of the other guys that he waited and promised big deals to, a lot of them didn't certainly pan out. So does that mean he's really going to try to go for it here to get the most? Is Soto going to try to get the most? So it worked out for him. He's going to get it from somewhere, Michael. But you're right. The love he's feeling from the fans, the chance of winning a championship, the chance to be able to be a forever player in the biggest city in North America. I don't know how much that moves the needle for him, Michael. I don't. And I don't know on the other side either. Will he have a problem with sharing the spotlight with Judge?
Not just sharing it, but being in the shadow. He can be in the shadow. As great as he is, he's not going to be Judge.
Here's what I would say to him. in trying to, if I'm the Yankees trying to win him over, listen, your light's going to be not shine as bright as Judge for now, but you're 6 years younger. Eventually, Judge is going to have to pass the baton to you right when you're in your prime. You're going to get your moment.
Right, you'll be a
Monument
Monument Park.
Few years. You're going to get your few years post Aaron Judge, where you can own this team and you could be the face of the franchise and you can change the narrative. Like, so it's not like they're going to be walking in lockstep till the end of their careers together. There is going to be a post Judge, and Juan Soto can really shine for half a decade beyond Aaron Judge.
Donna, we have the first good Rick DiPietro text on 880.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Is it directed at its usual
Yes,
suspect?
it is.
Okay.
Have the Yankees put together an offer for Soto and give it to Peter to deliver in his UPS button down that he's wearing today.
Yeah, you know
You
what?
can't wear brown?
No. What does Brown do for you?
I thought that looked terrific.
Brown it's a fashion risk.
With all the shirts that get worn in this seat on this show,
but
this shirt is not.
But you jump me all the time about my shirts.
But your shirts are.
This is a poop brown shirt you're wearing.
Just wear it. Listen, that's fine. I look great in the shirt. It's brown. If being brown makes it bad,
you look good.
Michael wears candy striper craziness in this chair. Things going directions and colors and ups
This
and
isn't
downs.
about Michael. Why are you jumping me? I didn't say it.
What does Rick? But what does Rick do? Does Rick send the text?
Yeah, Rick sent the text.
Brown's just a tough color, but you made it. But no, Michael's shirt blind. He can't see.
That's ridiculous.
No. Everybody's talking about it.
How about the shirt I'm wearing today? It's a beautiful Peter Millar shirt.
That's a nice plain
right, because you got
shirt.
nothing going on.
Thank
you don't have
God.
like several colors going in different directions.
I take fashion risk, okay? I don't wear brown.
No, listen,
brown's a bad color to wear.
Well, just because you swing doesn't mean you make contact.
Well, he swung and missed on a brown shirt.
No, I didn't.
You
I'm
put the UPS
guy.
logo on it.
I'm a tan guy.
Do me a favor, stand up.
I'm a tan.
I want to see the complete package.
It's awful.
I'm a tan guy with dark feature. Well, I wore shorts because I don't get to work. You know what I mean? Don't judge there.
No, it's going to be 90 degrees today. No, you know what? He looks fabulous.
This is a nice looking shirt.
I mean,
by the way, it costs more than your life, Michael. You can put your kids through college for the price of this shirt.
I don't think that should matter.
No, it shouldn't.
Because I can't.
No, actually.
But no, Brown's a risk. But you know what? It was a risk worth taking as far as I'm
It
concerned.
goes well with my skin tone. I look right. It looks like Michael. Listen, Michael will come in here wearing a shirt like the Seinfeld.
I'm coming in tomorrow, and I'm going to wear a beautiful shirt. It'll be better than that poop brown shirt you're wearing.
Oh, poop brown.
Listen,
But
but
brown. It's poop.
Listen,
it looks. It's
you
color
about
poop.
rose-colored glasses. Rick's got brown-colored glasses because he's looking out of Michael's behind. So everything has a brown hue to it.
I'm about to say, shouldn't you like brown? That's all you see. That's all you're sniffing, Rick, from where you are.
Wow. I will not have you talk about Rick like this.
Well, what are you going to do?
Yummy. Tomorrow I'll kick both your faces
What are
in.
you going to do about
You won't do anything
Watch.
and like it.
We'll be in the same studio tomorrow. I'll ask then. What do you plan on
You'll
doing?
see. You'll see. Maybe I'll come in with a pipe.
Well, it better be somebody else swinging it because it ain't going to scare me.
Those are Diamond Dogs, brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills, and driven by Nissan. You deserve a car that thrills you, and Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. I do. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store and NissanUSA.com today. Now, I want to remind you again, ESPN New York has a new dial position on 880 AM with all the same coverage of your favorite teams on DiPietro and Rothenberg, Barton Hahn, and the Michael K. Show. And now, ESPN New York is the radio home of your New York Mets. Ooh, so awkward to say. The 880 ESPN and the ESPN New York app, your city, your teams, your ESPN New York. How you guys feeling? You feel any different?
Because of the 880?
Yeah.
No. See, the thing is, at some point, we're reportedly moving to a new studio.
Okay, I'll play along.
That will feel markedly different.
Yeah, it doesn't. We can still do the same killer show.
This is different for the audience if you listen live on Rayro, but it's the exact same for TV, exact same for podcast, exact same for streamers. So this is only, it affects the people who listen live on the Rayro. But I don't feel it.
Good.
No, this is for Michael and I. This is not our first signal change.
Exactly.
This is our third signal, right?
Third signal.
I listened to you guys. When I first started listening to you, you were AM.
Right.
And then by the time I got
you
here,
were sitting there, a youngster going, God, I'd like to work with those guys.
I go, what a dream.
And it's been everything you dreamed about, right?
And then I met Michael K at a party. He had no clue who I was, but I said hello to him.
Well, who were you back then?
Radio guy, an up-and-coming radio guy, an upstart, if you will.
Right.
We had a nice little chat.
What was Peter to you, Michael? You can answer that.
He didn't
I
know.
didn't
He had
know.
no idea who it was. He did. It was a complete and total. Come on, I
wasn't really listening to hip hop back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but that's really pigeonholing the talents.
Well,
But at that point, that's what he was.
At that point, it wasn't. At that point, I was hip-hop guy only, Peter Rosenberg.
No wrestling?
Not
because
in a real way.
that's really another wheelhouse thing for me.
Well, I'm just saying.
No, you're not helping. And then I saw him again at some point, I think near his old stomping ground on the Upper East Side, just like walking out of a building one day, probably doing, God
Doing
knows
what? What do you think?
God only knows.
What year was this?
Well, for the protection and sanctity of his marriage, I'll say. What year did you get married, Michael?
I don't remember. 2011.
Let me start this again. What year did you meet Jody?
I met Jody in 2009.
Oh, yeah, it was well before that, sure.
Oh, well before?
No, I really don't know. I'm not saying he was doing anything debaucherous. He may have just been near his
That's always a good way to
apartment.
guess.
But that's what I'm saying. So I wanted to be safe and
So it's
protected.
back then, it could have been more of a who than a what.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, who and a what? A who's a what's a who's it? But the thing is, Michael, we know I don't have to worry about him because we know how Michael views those who would do anything wrong during a relationship. So obviously, whatever he was doing was the right thing at that
he
time.
would ever cheat on Jody.
No, I hate to say this because I don't want to pat myself on the back. Perfect husband. Perfect.
You know what?
Well, no, perfect husband in terms of that.
Perfect husband in terms of everything.
Providing,
being faithful, supportive, the perfect husband.
Let me just say, I'll say this. Yeah. Michael doesn't have to agree or disagree.
Okay.
There's no way Michael would ever cheat on Jody. And also, no way he would ever get caught if he did.
Oh, wow. Now, that's an interesting take.
Yeah, but you know what? I've thought about this, Don, because I think about things.
You've done the math.
The way the world is right now, it's impossible to even have a semblance of any kind of renown and get away with cheating.
I got news for you. It's happening.
You know what? People will eventually get caught.
Maybe.
I mean, cell phones know where you are all the time.
Michael?
Yeah.
It's happening.
Not in this group.
No, not in this group. Hell no, it's not.
Peter, why don't you tell us
Damn
about
right.
FanDuel before we get to taking phone calls and enjoying each other?
Well, you've heard us talk a lot about it.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. More than a point of sale, Square keeps you ready for any restaurant rush. And with Square, there are no hidden fees ever. At Square, get 24/7 support to help keep lines moving. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Hey everyone, I am Tegan of Half-Baked Harvest, and I am back on the Home Chef menu. Half-Baked Harvest and Home Chef is a perfect match. You don't have to measure anything. It's like all right there, ready to go for you. Find my recipes on the Home Chef menu for a limited time.
Hey. Rental? Yep. You? Yeah. Your shoe's untied.
Oh! Don't let a boxy suit ruin your night. Read from thebblacktux.com.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to customink.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our custom ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at customink.com.
Single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
If anyone knows the joy of rescuing animals, it's me. Just ask my rescues, who are all very important members of my family. Your life can also be forever changed by adopting a shelter pet. And it's not just about happiness your pet gets from finding a loving home, but that which you'll get from bringing them into your life. The heroes at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years. Whether it's rescuing animals caught in disasters, ensuring the safety of animal stars on screen, or protecting our planet's endangered species, they go above and beyond to further their mission and make the world a kinder place for animals. Please consider adopting a shelter pet and support American Humane. You can learn more at AmericanHumane.org.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Returning lessees can now lease a Ford Explorer for just $319 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores.
Itch, itch, scratch, must not itch.
Stop the itch sanity with Cortisone 10 for bug bites, poison ivy, and other itches. Cortisone 10 is #1 doctor recommended. It works fast and lasts for hours. Cortisone 10.
It's a big match, and only the best will win.
Just blaze, Godzilla bankroll, stole some chili on. Yo, I ain't got it all. That means I'm barely on.
Here comes the heat!
Say hello to the Bronx Buds, Yes's first ever animated series for the whole family.
And the crowd goes wild!
Now streaming. Join Riv, Bash, Oscar, and the rest of their gang for a baseball adventure around the Big Apple.
Bronx Pride is on the line.
HexLab presents Bronx Buds. Now streaming exclusively on the Yes app. Powered by Buy Cow Auto Mall.
Magnifico.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
When I was 19 and I was going to shows, I was not thinking about permanent hearing loss. I wasn't thinking about tinnitus.
Sometimes my kids are having a conversation with me and that ringing starts in my ear. They're talking to me and I hear their voice, but I can't focus on what they're saying.
The audiologist, he told me that most of his clients are not old people. They're kids that have their earphones in.
I have a lot of regret about not protecting my ears sooner.
Protect your ears at all times, no matter what. It's not something you can get back.
I have sickle cell. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life.
It's game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Yankees start a series at the Nationals at 6:45, and the Liberty visit the Mercury at 10.
Yeah, best record in the WNBA.
And the Mets are off today. They start a 3-game set against the Diamondbacks tomorrow, and we'll have the Mets on 880 tomorrow. That'll be the first Mets game on ESPN 880, or 880 ESPN, I want to say it right. That's Game Time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Let's take some phone calls. What do you think? Let's start with Max in Kansas. Max.
Hey, Michael, Don, and Peter. Thanks for taking my call once again. So I called on Friday, as I'm sure you remember. I said Aaron Judge hit 3 home runs in 2 games, and I don't care. You guys gave me a hard time saying I need to touch a woman. You all had a good laugh with that. But I have some. Yeah, right.
That was Don who said that.
I said that.
Right, Don said it. I'm sorry. I don't want to pin it all on Michael.
No,
but I have something to share with you. Something said by Derek Jeter on Old Timers Day. You guys ready?
That doesn't matter. We know exactly.
He's wrong.
We said it at the time.
He says it all the time.
Okay,
That's
well,
part of the problem.
I'll say it.
Let him say it.
I'll say it for all the fans out there. It doesn't matter what you do during a 162-game schedule. It all boils down to the World Series. Win a championship or it's a failure. So I have to ask you, Don, does Derek Jeter need to touch a woman too?
No, because Derek Jeter says that because of you. He says that because of the fan base, because if he says anything less, then everybody will kill him, that he's selfish and he doesn't care about the team. And would Derek Jeter say that if he spent his entire career in Pittsburgh and didn't win a championship? Put up the exact same numbers, didn't win. Would he say that? It's easy for him to say that when he's got 5 rings and he knows the fan base will not tolerate anything less. He's playing you, man. So Ted Williams is a piece of garbage. Ernie Banks is a piece of garbage. Didn't win. Hall of Famers. Doesn't matter. They didn't win. You really think that Ted Williams was nothing? Played in one World Series. Didn't win.
But they would be sitting at a limited table, like you guys mentioned the other day. They'd be sitting at the Don Mattingly table. So it's just...
So what's the matter with Don Mattingly? If Don Mattingly played 10 years later, he'd have a bunch of rings doing the exact same thing. John Elway was a way better quarterback when he lost 3 Super Bowls than he was when he won the 2. So I know the championships are important, man, but I'm just saying Derek Jeter is playing you. Derek Jeter is talking to you because he knows the fans will tolerate nothing less.
Yeah, but I'll push back a little bit, Don. I think he truly thinks like that. But that's his issue, and that has spilled over into the fan base. I don't think it's vice versa.
But I think it was ingrained in him by George. Yep. It was ingrained in him because the fans all felt like everything you do doesn't matter unless you win a championship. But I'm telling you, and I love Derek Jeter, but if Derek Jeter spent his entire career in Pittsburgh and had 3,600 hits but never won a championship, would he be saying it's championship or bust? It's the same guys that say they'd rather win a championship than go to the Hall of Fame. It's the right thing to say because the fans will jump you if you say the reverse because you come across as selfish. But I think Mark is just, or Max is trying to take it to the extreme. Like, see, I win because that's what Derek Jeter says. That's what Judge says. That's what every Yankee says because it comes across as way selfish if you say anything else. But don't you agree it's easier to say when you got 5 rings jingling and jangling in your pocket? Would Jeter say that if he never won any?
And it's also interesting, too, the reason we jump Max is not that thought that championship or bust, because that's the way you've been raised if you're a Yankee fan. But to say that none of the Judge home runs mean anything, I'm sorry, I can't co-sign that.
And here's the other issue that I have. Listen, championships are way important. I get it. But every year, someone wins one. And if you're a Yankee fan of above the age of 40, you've seen a bunch of championships. Now, I know you ultimately want to root for the Yankees to win a championship, but you're going to devalue something that we've never seen? Like, I'll see a team's going to win a World Series. Every single year, a team's going to win a World Series, a Stanley Cup, an NBA title, a Super Bowl championship. But how often do you see a guy go out there and hit this many home runs in a 3-year span to possibly break the American League record for home runs in 2 of the last 3 years? When do you ever get a chance to see that? I brought the same thing up when the Colts took a knee the final 2 weeks when they had a chance to go undefeated because they didn't want to ruin their Super Bowl ring. All right, but you know what? Being perfect would actually be pretty special, wouldn't it? How many teams go out there and win a Super Bowl perfect? Only the Dolphins have done it. So I understand championships are important, but sometimes you have things that happen during the regular year where you have to at least say, boy, this is fun too. Worthless? No, you got a problem, man. Date.
Let's go to Mark in Florida.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Hey there.
Hey, Mike, as usual, did a great job as the MC on Saturday during the ceremony. We really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Hey, I have a comment. I want to be in Don's corner for this about them not having old-timers games anymore. So when I was 14, we were there in 1973 and saw Mickey Mantle hit a home run off Whitey Ford. I don't think the stadium I'd ever heard louder than that.
But by the way, Mark, it's on YouTube. What Mark is describing, it's almost like a World Series, and Mel Allen made the call. So, Mark, you're dead right. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was really a great moment, and because those two never faced each other, you saw them face each other during the game, which was also special. Hey, one quick question as far as the no-shows. Do you know why Robinson Cano and Melky Cabrera weren't there?
That I don't know. I know that everybody on the 2009 team was invited, so I'm not sure why they weren't there. I think that Cano was playing in a league in Mexico, hitting like 460. As for Melky, I'm not sure. Brett Gardner refuses to return messages. Mark Teixeira said he had a prior commitment. That's all I know.
But that was it, right? Those
Phil Hughes also did not, turn them down, I guess.
Wow, that is weird, man.
Now, I'll tell you what. Don really took most of the hit here on Friday, and I would like to back him up a little later.
Okay.
They should be playing a game.
Oh.
Because I'm telling you, it just falls flat. Having a Q&A in a stadium of 50,000 seats, it doesn't resonate. And Susan and Joe Girardi did a great job, but still, you're interviewing people. People come there to see the players play. And those that don't want to play, then they shouldn't play. Yeah. They shouldn't play. I mean, Joe DiMaggio played, I think, until 1974. Joe DiMaggio did. One of the most prideful human beings of all time. Never wanted to look bad. And he played. So, I mean, there was a big argument. I was talking to a lot of the guys, and I'm telling you guys, a lot of them want to play.
So I don't know what's the issue?
The biggest issue, and nobody from the Yankees told me this, but players that came back as old-timers, they say a lot of it is Derek. And Derek, after the game, said, I have nothing to do with it. So you got to believe whomever you want. But I know, knowing Derek the way I know Derek, he never wants to be embarrassed. He doesn't want people to remember him as a 50-year-old rather than when he was, 28 years old winning championships. So I don't know if it's him or not. But one thing I do, here's a question I thought of, though, as I was driving home. So if they decided to play the Old Timers Day, and Derek said, I'm not coming, because he doesn't want to be the guy who doesn't play, what would Yankee fans want, Don and Peter? Would Yankee fans rather see the old-timers play a game of 2 or 3 innings like they always used to and not get Derek Jeter introduced so you can't shower him with love that he deserves? Or would you rather them introduce Derek Jeter, have him come every year, and there's no game? What would you rather?
I'd rather see the game. For me, and then listen, I grew up a Met fan, but I used to watch old-timers.
But if you're a Yankee fan, don't you want to see Derek Jeter? That's my point. Would you rather see the game and no Jeter or see Jeter and no game?
Yeah, but I'm seeing Jeter in what capacity? Being interviewed? I can watch him on Fox.
Yeah, you just kind of laid it out yourself, though, Michael, is that you get to see him, but that format's so not fun for fans.
Yeah. Plus, I know 15 years is a long time for certain people, but for us, it feels like it was not that long ago. That Q&A, it's fun, but was the building packed, Michael? No. Because, again, what are you seeing? You're seeing guys that
and I think the organization also saw, Don, that during the Q&A, people went up and went to the concession stand.
Yeah, it's just not fun.
I mean, they stayed in their seats for the intros. They want to cheer their idols. But the Q&A, I don't think it did anything for them.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago. People are going to remember what happened 15 years ago. It's not like you're rehashing something that happened 50 years ago, or you have a generation of fans that didn't experience it. 2009 wasn't that long ago.
I was talking to Willie Randolph yesterday. He wants to play. He's 70 years old.
Yeah.
And David Cohn wants to play. And even CeCe Sabathia said, I want to play.
Hey, and what I would say to Derek is, Derek, come on, really. I think people understand you're 50 years old. They're not going to expect to see 24-year-old Derek
But here's
Jeter.
the deal. He doesn't have to play. Be a manager. Like Gene Michael used to do.
Well, that's why I hope third base coach. But I think that you almost would be guilted into seeing like older guys in their 60s and 70s play. You know what, Derek? You could play. Everybody says, oh, my God, did it tarnish the legacy of Willie Mays to see him in the 73 World Series, an old man in the Met uniform? Really, did it really tarnish the legacy of one of the greatest players of all time? I mean, are we that short-sighted that a guy played one season at 44 years old, and then that ruins everything he did, Peter, the 20 years previous?
But, Michael, how much do we know this is a thing for Derek, besides that it just doesn't seem like it would be his style?
Well, the only thing that I could go by, Peter, is the players, the old-timers. I'm sitting in the dugout before I go out there, coming up to me and going, can you believe we're not playing? And like one guy he said, I got right in Derek's face. But, Derek is the guy. And, if Derek doesn't want to play, that means Posada doesn't want to play because they're best buddies.
Oh, my God. By the way, though, can I just tell you, this whole thing sounds a little lame. These are grown adults. They have to do what Derek feels like?
Yeah, I mean, I understand he was the leader of the team. I go, all right, you don't want to play. Fine.
But don't you think it puts the Yankees in because there are no Mantles, there are no DiMaggios anymore, there are no Berras. Your biggest name in your history is Derek Jeter. Do you want to tick him off and have a game and he doesn't show up?
But then I think that's just a bad job at a
Well, whatever it's a bad job or not, if the Yankees are faced with that dilemma, what do? He's your DiMaggio now.
Yeah, but would he really not show up?
I don't know. I have no idea because, again, the only thing I could go by is what he said afterward. He goes, not me. Go talk to Hal. It's not me.
I would think most people would rather see their hero. All right, so they don't get to see Derek Jeter. All right, but give me something rather than a Q&A where there's a general disinterest in it. I mean, I know maybe it's a tough thing to do every single year. Like, what are they going to do next year? What's the anniversary next year?
Let's see. It's 25.
I don't think there's anything.
No.
You know,
no, yeah, it's the 25th anniversary of the series against the Mets. What I would do is invite back the Mets and the Yankees and have them play a game. Like, but the old Yankee old-timers day, they used to invite back Dodgers, and Willie May. They used to invite back all the greats.
And listen, I understand Mets, Yankees, it's apples and oranges. I get it. But can we stop with the significance of the player? Some people have favorite players. And he couldn't play, Michael, but I went to the Old Timers Day a couple of years ago for the Mets, and John Stearns was there. He was one of my favorite players when I was a kid. He wasn't a great player. He was a really good player for the Mets. He was an all-star, but he wasn't a Hall of Famer. His number's not retired. But to see him in the uniform, and then he died a few months later, but at least I got to see him in the uniform again. I got the biggest kick out of that. I'm sure there are Yankee fans that would love to see, like, lesser players. It doesn't have to always be about Derek Jeter. I'm sure there are Yankee fans whose favorite player.
Oh, so let me throw this at you. If Derek is dead set on not playing, right?
Right.
If you're Derek, do you feel awkward coming back, being introduced, and not playing? Maybe that's his feeling. He's not playing under any circumstances anymore.
Right.
Would it be awkward
like
for him?
It's a Jeter problem. Well, then who cares if it's awkward for him? I mean,
then the Yankee fans don't get to see the most iconic Yankee that still remains.
So for an awkward situation and for fans that would miss Derek Jeter, then they get robbed of what still could be a really cool event for people that would want to see,
don't know what
Matsui again or whoever.
And, Cone is a big proponent of playing because he loves to groove the ball. Matsui hit a home run off him. Tino hit a home. He loves it.
It's fun. It's a lousy 3 innings. And you know what? Jeter wouldn't embarrass himself at all. He still looks like he's physically fit. He probably would be the best player out there.
And you know that Alex would hit a home run.
Yeah,
Alex would play.
Maybe big, and it's not even being a certain age. When I was a kid, and I never even seen any of those players, right? Because I was, when I was like 10, 11 years old, I didn't see any of those old timers play when they were actually playing. But I still got the biggest kick out of seeing it. My father telling me this guy was good, that guy was. I just think it's fun. It's a connection to the past. Get over it. That's what I would tell Derek, and I would move on without it. And then I would think, hopefully, he would see what a hit it is and want to be a part of it.
Now, we'll come back. We'll give you the Yankees starting lineup against the Nationals tonight. It's out already. But first, Peter's going to tell us about Dodge.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Has anything changed since we last spoke?
You know what? Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye.
Make sense of your money with Citizens.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too. That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer. But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? I don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The roof was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way?
Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
Breaking news and a surprise contender in the marathon.
Yes, Rachel, someone has caught up to the front. He's carrying a fridge.
Something remarkable has just happened.
Talk about keeping your eye on the ball.
What's happening courtside?
From half court. He got it.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Over to baseball. Richmond's going to win.
There's no way. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom. My dad is a hero. Homes for Our Troops built this house, and it's basically made for him. My dad can get through the wide doorways. When he is making our lunch, he can reach anything we need. He'll help me build tiny projects. Life is good here. Without Homes for Our Troops, we'd be living in a home that didn't have all these features that helped him.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives.
If they get a new house like this one, it'll help them do normal life. My dad's not just a hero, he's my hero.
Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
What if I told you the next great hybrid technology wasn't for a new car or computer chip, but it was for
the best ribeye every time. Hexlad's hybrid cookware gives you the performance of stainless steel, the durability of cast iron, and the convenience of non-stick. Welcome to the hybrid revolution. Welcome to Hexlad.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
When I was 19 and I was going to shows, I was not thinking about permanent hearing loss. I wasn't thinking about tinnitus.
Sometimes my kids are having a conversation with me and that ringing starts in my ear. They're talking to me and I hear their voice, but I can't focus on what they're saying.
The audiologist, he told me that most of his clients are not old people. They're kids that have their earphones in.
I have a lot of regret about not protecting my ears sooner.
Protect your ears at all times, no matter what. It's not something you can get back.
Tonight's Yankees starting lineup on 880 ESPN is brought to you by Bigelow Tea. They play the Nats tonight in D.C. Gleyber Torres at second base will lead off. Juan Soto's in right, batting second. Hitting third, center fielder Aaron Judge. The DH is Giancarlo Stanton cleaning up. Batting fifth, the catcher Austin Wells. Anthony Volpe will bat sixth and play shortstop. Batting seventh, third baseman Jazz Chisholm Jr. DJ LeMahieu at first base is going to bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing left field, it's Alex Verdugo with Nestor Cortez on the mound. That's tonight's Yankees starting lineup brought to you by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea is a proud supporter of the Michael Kay Show and the official hot tea of the New York Yankees. Kay, LaGreca, Rosenberg, we are with you until 6:30 starting out the weekend and our first day ever on 880 AM. We hope you are enjoying the switch and you have reset your preset once and for all. Let's go back to the calls. Dave in the car.
Hello, hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
I just want to ask Peter a question because I always seem to avoid it. Pete, let me ask you a question. How far do the Yankees go if the Mets keep going higher and higher? What is the number that the Yankees say, okay, no more? If the Mets keep going 550, Mets go 600.
Well, you talking about Soto?
When do the Yankees say stop?
Talking about Soto?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Soto. So if the Mets keep going higher, when do the Yankees say, okay, no more? What number do you think that is?
I have no idea. I don't know. What's the biggest deal in all of baseball right now? Ohtani?
Ohtani, 700 for 10, but it actually averages out the present day value $46 million a year.
Right, because the way he loaded it. So I don't think they go that high. I don't think they're shopping 700 million. I don't know, 600.
Michael, I guess I don't think they go. I don't think they'll go to 60 a year.
I think. Yeah, I don't know when they'll stop, but for some reason in my head, I think 50 might be it.
Really?
But I mean, it could be more. I'm not sure. I can't swear to it. I don't know, but 50 is a lot. So if you offer him a 12-year deal, which would be $600 million, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but if you're the Yankees, you have to figure that the Mets could go higher.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can't really mess with so if Boris called Hal today and said, we want to get something done today, what is your offer? I don't think the Yankees could afford to offer 50. I think Boris hangs up.
No. If they offered 40, he'd hang up.
Well,
50, I don't think he'd hang up.
Really?
I don't think he'd take it. He's not doing a contract
that's what
right
I mean.
now.
That's what I mean. I don't think he's going to take it. He's not going to sign.
Right.
They're going to say, all right, we think we can get more someplace else. Thank you for the consideration. Now, if they were to go to 60, then I think maybe there's a chance that something would get done. He wants to test free agency. The reason they're not talking is because nobody knows what that number is going to be. The Yankees don't want to offer more than they have to.
Right, so if they offered 60, Boris is thinking to himself, you know what, if they offered 60, if I could get Cohen involved, I mean, anything you offer, he's going to say no.
That's why it's really fruitless for anybody to talk at this point. Same thing with Judge. Judge wanted to hit the free agency, take a look at the other offers, and then ultimately make a decision. That's the same thing that's going to happen here. I just don't know how the structure is going to be. Is it going to be secretive? Is it going to be, all right, make an offer, and then are the Mets going to know what that Yankee offer is to go a little bit higher? Will the Mets just try to blow them away right away and say 60? It's like an auction. Basically, it's an auction. You put your hand up. 50. Do I hear 55? Do I hear 55? 55. Do I hear 60? Do I hear 60? Is it going to be like that?
It might be. And one thing about Steve Cohen, he's an art collector. He never misses a piece that he wants. He just doesn't, and he's got the money to outbid everybody.
Right, and usually in that scenario, because the painting doesn't have a say, you walk out with it.
Right, and there's no tax on the other than the sales tax, but you're not going to be penalizing your other business and buying other paintings because of what you pay for one. This one, though, impacts every other painting that you want to bring in.
It does, but he also doesn't seem to care about that either sometimes.
Yeah, but then why hire David Stearns? I think he does want to straighten things out.
Because I do think David Stearns is, but this is why you hire David Stearns. I want my toy. I want Soto. You make the rest work.
Yeah,
so
we'll see.
Because he knows he'll know how to make it work. But maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's not even interested. But just looking at the way the Mets played ball, or rather didn't play ball during the course of this offseason, felt like they were kind of getting themselves ready to take the deep dive on Soto. And he can dig deeper than the Yankees. That's the only thing that's scary. It's not about the Mets are better or the Mets are a better situation. If it's all about the money, then I think that's the scary team. How far is Cohen willing to go?
Calling all football fans. Enter the ESPN New York Survivor Pool for a chance to win $2,000. Make your pick each week of the football season and find out how you stack up against your favorite ESPN New York personalities. But be careful, one wrong pick and you'll be eliminated. The last one standing will take home the title of the inaugural ESPN New York Survivor Pool champion and $2,000. Enter now on the ESPN New York app. Got to talk about the Mets. That was a tough loss yesterday, so all they got was a split in San Diego. We'll break it down for the people as they're off today, and they'll start a 3-game set against the Diamondbacks tomorrow. But first, Peter has something to tell you.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Bigelow Tea, who encourages you to grab a mug and tea proudly.
It's amazing to think that my grandmother started Bigelow Tea right here in New York. And today, we're still a family company. And you have to remember, tea, that's all we do. So every cup counts. That means never compromising. My family won't let that happen. And our extended family, they give their all every single day. And our community, well, they expect that.
I want a cup of Bigelow Tea to be a moment just for you.
That's what I hope for.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Your best defense against erosion and cavities is strong enamel. Nothing beats it. I recommend Pronamel Active Shield because it actively shields the enamel to defend against erosion and cavities. I think that this product is a game changer for my patients.
Try Pronamel mouthwash.
All right, boys, who we betting on?
However you bet, whoever you are, the sportsbook for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
What's your favorite part of a Kit Kat bar? The chocolate?
Nope. The inside.
The wafers?
No, the stuff in between the wafers.
Oh, the in-between stuff.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. And try a bigger bite with Big Cat.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Let's start time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
First day on 880, and it's been one of the best shows we've ever done. I don't think that's hyperbole at all.
I 100%.
Oh, it's been so good.
Why do you? I don't.
Well, what are you doing?
Sorry, I just play along.
Well, that's not playing along. It's like,
been
why
a
don't
phenomenal
you
show.
This has not been one of the greatest
because
shows.
your shirt was insulted?
that was the best part of the first hour.
I think Don's answer to Max in Kansas was spot on. We had spirited discussion. What's wrong with you?
No, I you know what? You want to take the show up a notch at 4 o'clock? I'll give you something right now.
Go ahead.
Interesting.
I would just like to say the following to the Denver Broncos.
It's that. Can I quote you? Can I quote you on that?
Did they get Zach Wilson yesterday? Because it's the last day to look at anyone. And what did Zach do yesterday? 250 yards, 2 TDs, big W. Big celebration with his new fiance on the field afterwards. Did he do enough to beat someone out?
No. You know what? He did enough because it's the Denver Broncos to move him. Now, somebody needs to get hurt.
Don, that's so you're hoping they're smart, and I understand why you'd say that. They're the Denver Broncos, for God's sake. This isn't the New York Jets. But what Michael and I are saying is, what Michael and I are saying, if he did enough yesterday and secured the number 2 spot, then you got to laugh right in their face. Then he Wilsoned them.
Right.
Because I don't care. I don't need to know anything about Jared Stidham to know keep Stidham, move Zach. I'm sorry. I'd rather take a complete shot in the dark on Jared Stidham than I would on running Zach Wilson back as your quarterback. I mean, although that whole quarterback room is just special out there.
Well, I keep reading, Peter, that he looked terrific is what I heard.
Oh, I know. He showed up. Oh, man. I feel bad saying it. It's not that I think he's talentless. It's just that guys, how many times did we see the movie?
But the one thing is, over and over and over again, Robert Saleh keeps saying, I think he's going to be a good quarterback somewhere, which is an indictment of you and your staff. That's not a great thing to say. Let's see if he's right. I don't think he's going to be a good quarterback somewhere.
I don't either. And when you see the way his teammates reacted to him and the whole Mike White thing. And
Mike White's getting released, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
Say it's not.
Oh, Mike effing White.
Yeah. All those shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they probably had shirts.
The Miami Mike White shirts? Anyway, so good luck. Good luck to the Denver Broncos and young Zach. Congratulations on getting engaged, though.
So the Cowboys capitulate, sign C.D. Lamb. $38 million signing bonus, making about over $40 million a year. Football's going crazy. Listen, I want players to make as much as they can, but in a hard cap sport, you are really, really playing with fire. Anyway, $38 million signing bonus. Andrew Brandt brought this up. The Packers have 7 wide receivers, right? They're all babies. You know what they make total? 7 wide receivers? They make $7 million.
Are you serious?
C.D. Lamb's getting $38 million now.
And by the way, I looked around last year. Jordan Love did all right finding wide receivers. Yeah. I just wonder, like, when, I don't want to say something stupid. I guess Tyreek Hill, but it's not like the Chiefs won the Super Bowl because of Tyreek Hill. I was just trying to say, when was the last time that, like, a team whose best player was the star wide receiver won anything? Not that I don't value the position, because it's obviously a critical offensive position. But when you're putting your whole everything into a star wide receiver, how often does it lead to something?
And who's going to be throwing the ball the length of this contract?
Well, this year it'll be Dak.
It'll be Dak. Yeah. But beyond that,
now it's a sexy toy to have for a quarter if you're trying to, woo a new quarterback.
I got to tell you one other thing too, Peter. And this will make you feel uncomfortable. C.D. Lamb, he's a handsome dude, man.
Well, I don't feel uncomfortable with that. I mean, sometimes you go too far.
I didn't that time, though, right?
No, that's fine to say he's a handsome dude.
He's a very handsome dude.
See, now you're starting to flirt with it. Let's see how far it goes. But
I just don't know how it enters into the equation.
Yeah, I've never checked him out. Never thought about it.
I mean, I've checked him out.
As a player.
I've seen him.
Got a beautiful smile. He's very handsome.
But this doesn't pop into my...
Well, you know what? We have different heads.
Because you're attracted to him.
I'm not attracted. I think I could tell. I could say that somebody's good looking. Like I say, a woman's good looking doesn't mean I want to marry her.
If somebody asks me, do you think C.D. Lamb is good looking?
You would say, I don't know.
No, because I never looked at him that way, but I'll look and go, yeah, he's a good-looking guy. But when you look at him, and that's one of the first things you think
that's not one. Did I say it was one of the first things?
It's the first thing you brought up?
No, I brought up his $38 million.
You didn't say, like, but I got to tell you, though, when I see that guy play, he's worth every penny. You went right to, that's a good-looking guy.
Now, speaking of football,
all right,
because I respect our listeners and our show, I tried, Don and Peter, I tried. I put on the Jet-Giant game right from the very beginning.
God bless.
It was so sickeningly bad. I don't know how anybody watched that.
Hold on.
I bet you they got great ratings.
I don't know what ratings it got.
I tried, Don. I tried. I lasted halfway through the first quarter. I said, I'm not wasting my life.
All right, here's what I did. See if that makes me a good fan or not. We had people over.
Oh.
We're down to the...
Peter, I didn't get invites.
No, this wasn't a party. There was a couple that used to live in our neighborhood. They've moved, but they were back up north, and we invited them over to swim.
Oh, Peter,
we love a good swim.
What are you suggesting, Mike?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I've got 6-year-old twins. What do you think's going on?
They're going to bed at some point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's news to me. I could probably go to bed before them. So I put it on the Alexa.
All right.
I played some music. Had a little the '80s countdown. I was listening to that.
What a party!
And the Mets weren't until 8:40.
Oh.
So I had the Jet Giant game on, and then I flipped over to the Mets around 9 o'clock. After even listening to it made my ears bleed.
It's so bad.
Not Chris Carino and Carl Banks, Howard Cross, amazing on the radio. Don't get me wrong, they did what they could.
Where was Papa?
They're doing TV.
No, Iron Eagle did the game.
Oh, because it was the Jet home game. I don't know where Papa was. He wasn't calling the game. Maybe Papa has an out, and that's a good out to take. The preseason.
Well, you know what they say. Papa don't preach.
Is that what they say?
Yeah. And he's keeping the baby.
Rick DiPietro now with his first Don tweet on 880.
Oh, here we go.
Do you want to, should I say it, Peter, or not?
Well, I just want to say.
Of course you should.
Again, this was a gathering that involved my children. All right, just keep that in mind.
He said the pool noodles are out at the LaGreca's.
All right. That's. You know what? I'll lose the fight, but next time I see him, right in the forehead.
Oh, really? He'll kill you.
No, so when he kills me, I'm still right.
Right.
So let's say he beats me down. Does that all of a sudden make him right?
No, but it makes you dead.
I don't think he'd kill me.
No, and I respect Don. Don's going for it, man.
Why does Michael's mind always go to that? You never had people come over to the house to swim?
I don't really like people over the house. No, I honestly have never had non-relatives come over to swim. Never. Never. Hey, come over and take a dip. No, I don't want it.
Michael, this is a crazy time. I'm glad you did. What's it, 409? We got a topic for 2.5 hours, baby, because this is crazy. You have a pool. You're lucky enough, blessed enough,
blessed
to have a pool.
To put it.
And
the closest ever was having you and Natalie over, and you didn't swim.
I don't think we actually swam. No.
I have never invited a couple. Now, we've had parties, but I've never invited a couple over to swim. It sounds dirty and filthy.
It sounds dirty, and if you, oh my God.
You're unbelievable.
No, I'm not doing it.
You've never had non-blood fat people
never
come swim in your pool?
I mean, I have my sister, my nieces and nephew.
You only believe in family swim?
That's it. Family swim is it.
Well, you know why? Because he's openly said he urinates in the pool.
I do not. I've never said that.
He implied.
No, ocean maybe, never pool.
Maybe. If you don't pee in the ocean, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I went in the water 3 times this week just to pee.
Well, you're an idiot.
Yeah, you're not going to go back to the house.
I'm not going back to the house.
Why not? Are you ambulatory?
It was a long enough trip from the beach to try to get to a bathroom that it's the end of the summer. The water's pretty warm now, so you can adjust pretty quickly, even here on the East Coast. I am wading into the water, and I am taking myself a nice
Peter, let me, because you're rational at times about this.
I think I'm very rational all the time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you and Natalie have a pool, let's say.
Sounds
all
great.
Right? Would you invite a couple over to swim? Now, if you want to invite like 5 or 6 couples, make it a quasi-party, but one couple, that sounds freaky, man. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. You're saying it would be weird.
Yeah.
No, literally, on this past Friday, I was not able to do it. Well, I forget what was on TV, but Ballard said to me, "Do you?" Oh no, it was for the DNC culmination on Thursday.
Oh, nothing like a DNC party.
By the way, not giving my political affiliation, but he said, "Do you guys want to come over, have a little dinner at this local place?" Which, by the way, he wanted me to ask you, Don, if you knew the place. I bet him and Katie believe you will know it. He said, "Do you want to partake?" And then a little night swim, and then watch the DNC. I didn't go, "Oh, what are you trying to get freaky with me?" They have a pool.
Did it seem abnormal to be asked that question? Now,
the only thing that was abnormal is it's a weeknight and I don't do anything.
Donna's my wife's best friend, used to live around the corner from us. They've recently moved down the shore. They were back up north for some things. And so Nancy's like, "Yeah, well, we'll barbecue and swim if you want to swim." And so
very creepy.
Bring your trunks.
Listen, Michael, I got to be honest with you. Then you know what? Dig in. You are so wrong. Everyone believes you're wrong. Everybody believes you're creepy. So dig in.
Listen, Don, I never fight you on the fact that I'm weird, okay?
Well, yeah.
But again, I have lived in this house the entirety of Charlie's life, 9 years. Never have I invited a couple over to swim.
But that's more an indictment of how few friends.
I've got a lot of friends. I just don't like people.
But they're not. But that's what I'm saying.
But
Fine, whatever version.
But swimming's part of it. But we're going to barbecue. We've got a nice.
No, barbecue's a different story. But once you strip down your skivvies and jump in water.
So I have a question. My summer residence.
Right.
Is it strange then to have people come over and go to the beach?
No.
So they can come. A couple could come over. We go to the beach together. But if we were living in the lap of luxury like you are, and we said, "Come in the pool with us," then it's some sort of freaky tale.
Yeah, it is.
Who are you, too short? This is so strange.
No, I've been called too tall at times. I'm never too short.
Ah, boy.
Well, you know what? You guys do what you do. You be who you want to be. The K's don't roll like that.
I do not believe Jody is on board.
But whether she's on board or not, you know what? We could have her come down here and get on the mic. We have never had a single couple
because of
come
you.
over. No, it's never been discussed.
Hold on, is there something on the table, Don? Is it possible that Michael and Jody's friends are all so well-to-do that there'd just be no interest in coming over to use their pool because they all have pools?
They have to get out of their pool to go into his pool.
See, that's it.
I see.
But like in my world, Ballard moving to the suburbs of New Jersey, where his lovely girlfriend has a pool, is like a huge win. Oh my God, we have a pool.
Wait a minute, though. I'm 63 years old.
You'll be 67 on
and
Saturday.
Jody is 60. I mean, what is it, a scene from Cocoon having people over to swim? It's ridiculous. It's not like I'm a 25-year-old.
But on a Sunday, throw some burgers on
I don't
the
want
grill.
them here. I don't want people here.
See, that's what is going on.
But I understand if I ask somebody over, not even if we didn't even bring, like, swim's not on the table. They know I have a pool. And hey, why don't you come over? We'll barbecue. It's supposed to be a nice night on Saturday. Come hang out. There's a fighting chance, even if we don't bring it up, they're going to bring their trunks because they know we have a pool. And if it's a nice night, why wouldn't you jump in the pool?
If anybody came to my house,
came over at 4 o'clock, the sun's still shining.
If anybody came to my house, right, and brought their trunks, they'd be asked to leave.
Oh my God!
So you're like a germaphobe.
No. I mean, there's so much chlorine in there. It'll kill any kind of disease.
But I don't understand why it would be. You have a pool. People know you have a pool.
You know what? I don't want a pool. The pool came. I hate the pool. It came with the house. I despise it. I think in 9 years I've probably been in it 9 times. It's the worst.
Dream. It was my dream when I bought a house.
It's a money pit. It's a money pit.
I agree, but it's worth it.
It's not.
Well, but hold on, for the record,
I like this.
Doesn't this all add up, Michael?
To what?
The guy who refuses to invite a friend over to enjoy the pool also happens to think the pool's not worthwhile. I think it kind of adds up. Don's using the pool. He's inviting friends over. He's taking a swim. He's having a good time.
Kids love it. During the pandemic, it was a godsend with the kids home.
You guys weren't swimming during the pandemic, Michael?
The pandemic happened in March. The beginning of it
continued for quite a while.
Yeah, Trump said it was over by Easter, but they did continue.
But some people actually kept going.
I think my kids might have dunked in there. I didn't.
All right, so you're not a pool guy, but to disrespect people who are.
No, I don't disrespect people.
You said you'd throw me out if I came with trunks.
Because you weren't invited to swim, that's why.
But if I'm invited to your... If you
came over to my house with like sex toys and you weren't invited to like an orgy, I'd throw you out.
Well, you know what it says?
Because your bedroom's not in the backyard. Like if you invite me, hey Don, come on, we're gonna have a barbecue at the house.
But he doesn't do that.
Have a pool.
But he doesn't.
I have invited people over for barbecue. I have not told them bring your trunks.
But we could have swam if we chose to at your barbecue.
Yeah, but I said I never invited a single couple. If there's a party, I've had pool parties, yes. But in terms of like one couple, freak show. Freak show.
Yeah, I don't
know. You know what? You guys don't have, let me just say this clearly. I don't believe you guys have like a best couple friends. I don't think you have.
Yeah, we're each other's best friend.
Oh, my God. Are we going to go with that now?
That's what he's going with. We don't even need friends. We just have each other.
I think I shouldn't say most people, but you have like a couple that you go out, it's your go-to couple to go out to dinner.
Yeah.
Do you know what Jar from Oz just said? Jar from Oz. This is all the way in Australia. Yeah. He said inviting a couple over for a swim screams wife swap. That's Jarv.
Because he's a degenerate.
Yeah, that's so weird, man.
Well, I got children in the pool.
That is an impediment. I agree.
But that's not an impediment when you didn't. That wasn't the intention to begin with. Donna is Nancy's best friend. I'm friends with her husband, Mark. it's strange to have them come over and hang out?
No, but to have them swim, yes. It's time now for the Mets recap on 880 ESPN, driven by Ramsey Mazda.
That's right.
There are some losses, Don. I don't know if you agree with me. The Yankees had one at the Little League game. There are some losses that are kick in the teeth or even lower. That loss for the Mets yesterday was a kick in the teeth. It's not a season ender, but that one will take a little bit to get over.
You know, we always talk about changing your expectations. If you told, and I said it at the beginning, if I'd be happy with the Mets splitting. The Padres are a very good team, and if they split on the road, fine. But you don't feel fine after that loss yesterday. Yeah, you got the split, but you could have gotten 3 out of 4. You had a 2-0 lead. You got out of a ridiculous jam in the 7th inning, which really felt like, all right, you're golden. And then you give up the 2-run lead in the 8th, and everything went. Buto's been great. Yep. And then Diaz gives up the home run to win it. And then earlier in the day, the Braves lose to the Nationals at home, so you lost the chance to gain a game. It was awful. It was to be in control of that game, have everything going. It really would have just been fantastic. I still think they're okay. As you said, it's not a season ender, but it's certainly, definitely a kick in the teeth. No question.
Oh, that was. You're mentally putting that in the win column. You just are. You just are.
Listen, I was nervous, especially, but when they got out of the jam in the 7th, I'm like, all right, it looks like it's kind of meant to be here. But then, as soon as you get a runner on, I didn't feel great at 2-0 against a really good team, Michael. And then once they tied it at 2, it was like, oh my God, forget it. And I completely agree, because they could have saved Diaz, because there could be a save situation on the road. But I really felt like you wanted to be able to get through that 9th inning, and it just didn't work out. Just didn't happen. But it wasn't like they blew a 10-run lead. It was still dicey, but going into the 8th inning, I felt pretty good after the way they got out of the 7th. But once they got to the 9th inning, Michael, I was not feeling good, and then I was proven right.
Now, the Blackburn injury, they just, they put him on the IL. There's no broken bones. But if you saw that injury, right, it's my greatest fear doing baseball games, that a pitcher will get killed. I mean, guys hit the ball so hard, there's no reaction time. He got his hand up. Otherwise, it would have smashed him right in the face, Don. Right in the face. And then, obviously, he injured his wrist, and now he's on the 15-day IL. But that's a big blow for them. I mean, who are you going to go with? McGill? McGill hasn't pitched well.
No. And you already, Peterson's been great. Quintana, that was the other thing, too. You wasted a great start from Quintana yesterday, which has been few and far between at times. But, no, listen, I always worried about it when I pitched in high school, because really, it's all instinct. That ball comes right back at you. Forget about Major League Baseball, where they're hitting 105 velo straight up the middle. And correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, I think there was only one pitcher, I forget his name. He was a lefty on the Padres about 7 or 8 years ago that had like the bubble hat. But nobody else has worn it, right? Can you think of anybody else that has worn the protective hat? I'm surprised that more haven't tried it, Michael. I guess they don't want to show that they're intimidated. But
do you really get hit in the head? I mean, you might get hit. What I'm worried about is getting hit in the face.
Well, but still, the face is, the head's right there. I mean, yeah, you get hit in the face, it's terrible. But you get hit in the wrong place in the head, Michael. Giancarlo Stanton hit the ball 115 miles per hour off his bat. I would really fear death at that. Wouldn't you?
Yes.
God forbid you get hit in the temple.
I fear it all the time. I mean, they're too close, and the guys are too big, and they hit the ball too hard. I fear it all the time. Anyway, with the loss, the Mets are 3 back in the loss column from the Braves. So let's see where they are with the Diamondbacks. The Padres have 58 losses. The Mets have 63. So that's a 2-game swing right there, that loss. So they're 5 behind the Padres. And the Diamondbacks have 56 losses, and the Mets have 63, so they're 7 behind the Diamondbacks. So, I mean, if you really want to catch the Diamondbacks, we're getting to be close to September, Don. I hate to say it, you got to go in and take all 3 games.
Well, but again,
if you take 2 or 3, then you're 6 back, you're not getting them.
I said this to you about the Padres. Why am I focused on catching the Diamondbacks? I just want to get in.
Right. So you have to focus right now on the Braves.
They're just getting wins. And you got 3 games against the White Sox, who've already lost 100 games. I haven't been able to find it, Michael, but I am sure That's the fastest to 100 losses in baseball history. I mean, we're not even in September yet. They've lost 100 games.
I think they have to go 19 and 23 the rest of the way to beat the Mets. They can't go 19 and 23. They're dreadful.
No. They've only got they've played 130. They got 31 games left.
Right. So
I think it's 12 and 19.
They can't do it.
That would be the best they played all year.
Yeah, they can't do that.
In that kind of a span, and able to do it. But 31 and 100, I looked it up, through 131 games, the 62 Mets were 33, and I think it was 96. So they're 2 ahead. They're going to do this, Michael. I think they're going to have the most losses in history. Now, the Mets played 2 fewer games because they obviously were out of it, so they didn't make them up. So over 162. How do they not lose over 120 games, Michael?
I don't.
So those are the games the Mets have after the Diamondbacks.
You know what? What bothers me? That there was a charm to the Mets losing. They were an expansion team. They drafted players, old players. They had Casey Stengel there to entertain. They knew they were going to be bad. They were building a house from the ground up.
Expansion team.
This team is an embarrassment. This team wasn't supposed to be this bad.
For an established baseball team to break the record for most losses is a colossal embarrassment. Because like you said, the Mets were an expansion team, and it's not like expansion now. I mean, you just got awful players, and the Mets strategically, because they wanted to draw, were getting the old Dodgers and Giants, so you got guys that were cooked, a manager that was kind of just there to sell tickets, and they went 40 and 120. I mean, it's not like they don't have any players, and to even come close to breaking the record, I think, is an embarrassment, and I don't see how they don't do it.
You know who I really feel for today?
The people that were in the pool?
The old lady who went over to 8:80 a.m. to just get her traffic on the gates. And instead she gets Michael Kay, the Yankee announcer, saying that if you go to a pool party with another couple, it's basically an orgy.
No, Michael didn't say that. Jarve did.
I feel for that lady.
But you were hinting at that, Michael.
Yeah. That's the Mets recap driven by Ramsey Mazda. It's the experience of driving a new Mazda and buying a new Mazda from Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Peter, so that woman who tuned in probably going to need some better help.
Well, she will now, Michael. This message is brought to you.
The finest premium arena club in the world comes alive in Brooklyn. Welcome to Crown Club, the Brooklyn Nets' most exclusive club in Barclays Center. Featuring a menu curated by a major food group with Carbone classics and a world-class wine list. To learn more about premium memberships at Barclays Center, visit brooklynnets.com/crown-club.
Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
It won't be hard to find someone to fix this. But before I started Angie's List, different story. A lot has changed for us at Angie since then, but the issues facing homeowners are the same. And the solution too, skilled local pros. Get started at Angie.com.
Chase knows how to put the heart in your local community. Evan, you helping them with savings, right? Somebody just got their first debit card. Ice cream on you? Your money is a part of your community, so your bank should be too, like Chase.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. Telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Orbit. Chew? Good.
You know, when I take the bike out like this, all my stress is just melt away.
You said it. You don't have to worry about anything when you're saving dough with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Sharks, getting trapped in an elevator, dogs with human-like faces, my carbon footprint, my daughter's JV hockey schedule.
Introducing Domino's new New York-style pizza, the biggest star of your next pizza night. It's made with our fresh, never-frozen dough that's stretched thin, then topped with melty provolone cheese and cut into 6 big foldable slices. For the perfect balance of crust, sauce, cheese, and toppings in every tasty bite. So why keep your taste buds waiting? For a limited time, you can get large New York-style pizzas with 3 toppings for only $10.99 or 2 medium 2-topping New York-style pizzas for only $6.99 each at Domino's.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
It's easy to stay safe online. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. A handful of homers led the Bombers to a series victory over the Rockies, and the highlights are brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Colorado led 1-0 after the top of the first, but that lead was quickly erased by the captain. Aaron Judge hit his first of the game and number 50 on the season, a 2-run shot to put the Yankees up 2-1. The Yankees' lead was won once again in the 7th, but that's when they started barreling consecutive bombs, and the first salvo was fired by Juan Soto. Then Judge, for the second time in the game and his 51st of the season, he's now on pace for 63, which would break his American League record of 62 that he set just 2 years ago. Then to complete the back-to-back jacks, Giancarlo Stanton launches one. The Yankees' own version of SpaceX hit 1,220 feet of homers, taking just 5 pitches between the 3 of the players to do it. Yankees win the game 10-3. Let's get back to Judge as his magical mystery tour of the season rolls right along. Judge's jacks went a combined 808 feet yesterday. He's batting .333, which is the only Triple Crown category he trails in. Bobby Witt Jr. of the Royals is hitting .347. Can Judge continue to rule in 2024 in the shadow of Capitol Hill? Find out tonight when he and his teammates begin a 3-game set with the Nationals. Our coverage begins with the pregame at 6, followed by first pitch a little after 6:30. It's the Yankees and Nationals. Coverage starting tonight at 6 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. What a show it's been. Even Peter would agree now.
We're getting there.
It's off the chains. Off the chains.
No, not off the chains, just one chain.
Off the chain?
Yep.
That sounds a little odd.
No, that's the saying. Well, when that was a saying,
right,
which has come and gone, it's yesteryear now. It's off the chain, not it's off the chains. Like, it's not like off the rails.
That would be off the rail.
No, well, that's not a thing either. But you get what's going on.
Yankees playing the Nationals tonight, Peter. And I'm sure you wanted to address this. On the Nationals, Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo is the player that every team wanted. Everybody wanted Joey Gallo. Everybody knows Joey Gallo. He's good, great, perfect analytic player. Well, Joey has played 52 games for the Nationals. He's hitting a robust 165.
Wow.
He just stopped playing.
5 home runs, 12 ribbies, 78 strikeouts, and a 71 OPS plus, which means he's 29% worse than the average player. And remember, Don, you remember, because Peter doesn't retain anything, how I got just abused
this I remember.
For saying that Joey Gallo was an abject failure with the Yankees. How could I be so mean?
Oh, you were just as mean as all the people that were dying for him to be cut during the course of the 22 season. And then all of a sudden they found religion because he said he was getting abused in public, and then you became the face of the bad guy.
I don't want to be the face of the bad guy.
No, because you don't deserve it. You're better than that.
I really am. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Artie in Fairlawn. Artie.
Art.
What's up, Artie?
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? You guys are unbelievable. You're killing me here.
Thanks.
But I have a serious question for you guys.
Okay.
You know what? I don't dislike Clay Holmes, but he's not the closer. I need somebody with gas going, like Goose Gossage, Jeff Nelson, Mariano. I mean, he can't. He's not the closer for us, Mike. Who's going to close for us?
Well, you're not going to get those guys this year, so he's the closer this year, Artie. I mean, you don't go down the aisle at Walmart and go, yeah, I want Goose Gossage. Yeah, give me a little Goose Gossage, and maybe if you could, Mariano Rivera down. Yeah. Come on. He's not the closer. He is now.
You're saying stop yourself.
Yeah, Rivera, you would have to ask somebody to open it up like a razor blade. They'd have to. He's locked behind a case. You might be able to find.
Don, in New York, you got to get somebody for shaving cream. They have to open the case now.
You might be able to get open without having to ask for a key. Would be like a Jeff Reardon,
maybe even a Hoffman.
Suter.
I think even a Hoffman.
Yeah, Trevor Hoffman. Yeah, but he's in the Hall of Fame, so we'll throw him in the glass case too. Just not in the same place as Mo.
Right now you can get nothing without it being behind a case.
Thig Pen, I think you don't have to unlock anything for him.
How about the Otter?
The Otter.
Craig Olsen.
Oh. I've never knew that was his nickname.
Really?
Yeah, I think he made it up.
Do you think I made that up?
Yeah.
Greg Olsen.
I don't think he made it up. I don't
think that somewhere in his mind he came up with this. It is not his nickname. I've never heard Greg Olsen called the Otter.
There it is. Greg Olsen. The Orioles gave him the nickname the Otter because of his body shape.
All right. Well, that wasn't a
compliment. You know what? Every once in a while, Michael, I teach you about baseball.
Well, you know what?
You see that?
And every once in a while I say, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I think.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so you can get Olsen over the counter, and you can get Neil Allen.
Where are they putting Calvin Schiraldi and Bob Stanley?
Those are in the discount bin.
No, that's like when you check out right by the register. Right. Just grab and chuck them in.
That's what they get the expired items.
You know, Peter, one thing that you haven't even brought up today, and I thought for sure that you would. Did you hear the inning that me and Paul did with CeCe?
I heard about it.
I heard about it.
I'll tell you what. That guy, if he wants to, could be an absolute superstar broadcaster. First of all, his voice is phenomenal. He has John Sterling's voice.
He has a very nice voice. That is a great point.
And just his analytical bent, the way he was breaking stuff down on the field, he was terrific.
So it sounds like everything between you guys, water under the fridge.
I think it's bridge, but if it's under the fridge, you've got some issues. Well, he pleasantly surprised me, Peter. I'm gonna bring it out in the open.
Oh, cool.
Go ahead.
Like 5 minutes after, I was in the dugout alone, and Marcus Stroman came out, looked right through me, and walked by. So I said, "Well, everything is normal in the world." And then
so Stroman is still yet to say a word.
Never say a word to me. And you know what? In fairness to him, I haven't said a word to him.
Well. But
I have a reason.
That makes more sense. Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
Right.
But
I have a reason. But so then the old timers start coming into the dugout before I go out to introduce them, and everybody from the championship teams coming over saying hello, hugging, whatever, and CeCe walks right up to me and said, "How you doing, Michael?" and shakes my hand.
Oh, hey now.
Time does heal all wounds.
But I don't know what the wound was. But whatever the case, I'll take it. He could be terrific on the air. Terrific. I'm sorry you guys didn't get a chance to hear it because he was so good.
I might have to go back and revisit.
Oh, my God. Even Paul O'Neill said, "You sound like Barry White." He said, "I've never heard a voice like that."
You sound like Barry White. Those fantastic tones, one of my favorite R&B singers.
What a voice. What a voice. Let's go to Brian in Hamilton Square.
What's up, guys? How you doing today?
What's up, Brian?
So I just want to talk about Old Timers Day. First off, you guys are correct. They should be playing a game. I don't want to hear, "Oh, my knees are aching me," like Posada said, or from what I heard he said. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? Look at the stands. Nobody wants to sit there and watch people wave and sit there for 30 minutes and then have a little Q&A that we've already heard stuff before. So let's play a game. Let's have fun. My second point, Derek Jeter, I love you, but shut your trap. This is me. I knew I was going to get a gas from you, Peter.
Go ahead.
It's ridiculous that he's basically discrediting what's going on this season by saying, oh, it only matters in October.
Right.
Hey, I understand. I understand that the championship is the thing, but come on. Come back to me, as Don would say. Come back to us. Look at the season. This is incredible. I'm having fun with it. I was there yesterday. So we were going and saying it felt like the postseason game. So that's what I wanted to say. So, guys, have a good week.
Listen, I don't want to jump on Jeter either, but that's a great part of what I was saying. Is that what does that do to Judge? So let's say the Yankees don't win the World Series. So it devalues everything that he's trying to accomplish. Like, I don't think Derek really believes that, but let's just say for sake of argument, he does believe it. That everything you do in the regular season, all 3,600 of it, all didn't matter. It's all about the championships. What if the Yankees don't win? So if he goes out there and hits 70 home runs, it doesn't matter? Come on, man. I get that the ultimate goal is supposed to be the championship, and I understand the Judge is going to take that tact because he knows the fans demand a championship. But come on, how often do you get a chance to see somebody have this kind of a season? And it's all going to be thrown away because they happen not to win, and it might not even be his fault. Michael, let's say he goes out there and rakes in the postseason, and they lose. Nope, doesn't matter. Well, he did everything he could. Now, I can understand if he goes out there and strikes out 20 times and bats 0. All right, maybe that takes a little bit of the flavor away from it. But it's championship or nothing. I think that comes from Derek because he's got the 5 rings. He knows the fan base is going to agree with him. But I think it's completely unfair because now that puts Judge in that, well, you never won. And that's what Derek Jeter said. Come on, that's unfair.
Could you classify this as like a rare Jeter mistake?
No, because he's always felt this way. That's where I disagree with Don just a little bit. Not an act, not playing to the room. He truly feels that way, and I think that has been the thing that has carried forward to Judge. And I think that's what affects the fan base. They have had it driven into them by their biggest stars that it's championship or bust. And you can't tell me if the Yankees don't win a World Series this year and Aaron Judge hits 65 home runs, that's not a forever season that you'll remember for the rest of your life. Whether they win a championship or not, if he hits 65 home runs and you don't accept it because they haven't won a championship, that's a you issue. It's a you issue. He hit 65 home runs. That's a big deal, whether they win a championship or not. You know that Barry Bonds has 762 home runs, never won a World Series. So his home runs are invalidated? Now, if they're not validated, they're not validated because of PEDs, but not because he didn't win a championship.
Well, that's why I threw out to Max earlier. You're telling me that Ted Williams is not an all-time great player? He played in one World Series.
His 400 season, 406 didn't mean anything because they didn't win that year?
Ernie Banks is one of the greatest players ever to play. Never played. I don't think he ever played in a World Series with the Cubs. So that means those are 2 of the greatest players ever, Peter. Collectively, they both played in one World Series. So nothing.
Well, I was going to say, so if Ripken doesn't happen to get the 1 in Baltimore and just spends the rest of his time doing God knows what with Brady Anderson, he's not Cal Ripken Jr.?
It's crazy. It's crazy talk. But again, Jeter's not playing to the room. He really thinks like that. And I think that Jordan thought like that. There are some guys that are wired that way.
Well, listen, if I'm Aaron Judge, though, obviously he says the right thing always and does the right thing always. But in your mind, is a part of you going, I totally respect you. I know the winning that you did. A, you were on a ridiculous team. Our current team doesn't resemble that at all. And B, deep back there in the recesses of his brain, where he swings it a little bit, the cocky side of him, is he kind of like, let's be honest, Cheats, you can't even do the things I do. Like, talent-wise, we're not even in the same league as a ball player. And I'm sorry, they're not. Derek Jeter's an unbelievable ball player, and at this point, he's in the highest seat possible, basically, for a Yankee legend. But in terms of their actual skill set that God blessed them with, Aaron Judge is on a different planet.
It does. I understand everything you're saying, Michael, because he's always said that. Yep. But to say it in that way at that moment during what Judge is doing, it's almost like him saying, hey, buddy, before you start thinking you're better than me, let's start counting the rings. And that's unfair because I don't think Judge is going to get the 5 rings. He might not play long enough to get the 5. And it's funny, the Jordans, the Jeters, they're always the guys that say it's all about the ring because they've got tons of them. But not, in basketball, you got a lot more control to win the championship than you do in baseball. Again, would Derek Jeter have that philosophy if he spent his whole career in Milwaukee, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, where he was just exactly the same player but didn't get the opportunities in the postseason? Because Michael's right. I mean, Peter's right. Those are some ridiculous teams Derek Jeter was on. He made them partially ridiculous because of how great he was. But those were really good teams, Michael. Very good teams that won.
It's kind of odd because if you're just going to count things on rings, right? Let's say that Aaron Judge doesn't win a ring, ever. I mean, I would bet that he would, but let's say he never wins a ring. Does that mean Luis Soto is better than him? Luis Soho, is he better than him?
Yeah.
Really? Is Clay Bellinger better because he won Homer Bush? Is he? No. Baseball is a team sport.
It's a team sport, and we throw these rings around. You know, so you're telling me that Eli Manning is just as good as Peyton Manning because they both won 2 rings? No, that's a ridiculous thought. Now, if you want to tell me that Jeter maybe is a winner, maybe more than other players or whatever, maybe a little bit more clutch, I mean, obviously we can have that conversation, but you can only be clutch if given the opportunity to be clutch. And if he was in Pittsburgh his whole career, probably wouldn't have gotten all those opportunities to go to the playoffs and be the man. Like Tony Gwynn. Is Tony Gwynn not in Derek Jeter's class because he happened to play in San Diego his entire career? Wade Boggs didn't win a ring until he came to the Yankees. Did that devalue everything he did in Boston?
And I think that you hit on something that's interesting, and we could never really get into his mind. Saying that yesterday, when Judge is having this sort of season, kind of like putting a little shade on Judge. Don't hit me 65 home runs, win me a championship. That's questionable.
That's what I'm saying. Is there a chance it was a very rare Derek Jeter misstep? With an open microphone.
Because you know what? We're talking about not wanting to play in the All-Star game. You said
Old-Timers Day.
He does Old-Timers Day. Yeah, because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to look bad. You know, he doesn't want to look like. Maybe he is a little bit protective of his legacy, and maybe he felt like challenged. Because I got to tell you, Michael, right now, I'll tease this. We had a conversation who the better ball player is. I included somebody, a pretty significant Yankee fan in our discussion, and he had a very interesting answer.
All right, we'll find out what that is. Hey, to hit a home run, everything needs to line up perfectly.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more.
This is you, and this is your first hunch of the season.
It's parlay time.
With FanDuel, a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV will give you many more.
Buffalo. It's Broncos time. Psst, I'd take the over.
And you can easily act on whichever one speaks to you.
Eagles, Browns, Broncos, Bills. They all look...
And make every moment more.
New customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. Plus, every customer gets a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. Only from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
I'm former Major League pitcher David Wells. Over the years, I've been helping veterans get the medical resources they need and help them overcome their challenges. They've sacrificed so much for our country, and it's our duty to take care of them when they come home. Join us in our mission to end veteran homelessness in America. Please go to T2T.org to donate now.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salon Paws. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salon Paws. It's good medicine.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
4 delicious pieces of chocolate. 3 crisp wafers. 2 layers of sweet Kit Kat filling. 1 incredible break. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Now served up in birthday cake.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
ESPN New York. Show us you're listening by uploading a photo of the device playing the new 880 ESPN New York for a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Head to the contest tile on the ESPN New York app in order to enter. This week's giveaway is a 4-pack of tickets to Pearl Jam at Madison Square Garden on Wednesday, September 4th. Be sure to reset your preset to the new 880 ESPN New York. Pay off your tees, Don.
So we had the conversation, who's a better player? And it's starting to look like, with all the winning, I mean, Judge is doing things that we haven't seen a human being ever do. So I said, why don't I go and text one of the biggest Yankee fans that I know, not only in support of the team, but also in name. And that was Billy Crystal.
Oh.
So I text Billy, I said, I know Jeter is a bigger winner, but am I crazy to say Judge is a better player? And he went, tough question. Right now, he's better than anybody. Now, obviously, he's got to continue to put up numbers for a longer period of time than just these 2-3 years. But if you go back to his rookie year when he hit over 50 home runs, I mean, I know it's unfair to compare the two. One's a shortstop, and one's a right fielder, and one's a home run hitter, and one wasn't. But, Michael, it's just incredible what we're seeing Judge do. And I guess the rings, it's always going to be Jeter and the clutch in those moments. Because let's face it, Judge has not been great in the postseason. He's got a batting average of 211. But right now, when you look at how things are going, Judge might be right up there when it's all said and done with the greatest ever play.
See, but I think
for the New York Yankees.
think there's a caveat to this. All right,
what's that?
So this year, Judge, and let's say 2022 as well. Very few people in the history of the game have ever been better.
Right.
Those are 2 years. Now, he also had the 52 home runs in his rookie year. Should have won the MVP. They gave it to Altuve, but that's another story. Derek Jeter has 3,500 hits.
Right.
So you can't say he's a better player than Derek because Aaron's been doing it for 8 years. Derek did it for 20. If Aaron continues this for another 5 years, and he's sitting on 500 home runs when he actually came up to the big leagues at the age of 25, then I think you could have that discussion. Now, if you want to say, did Derek Jeter ever have a season like this? The answer is unequivocally no. Not many people have ever had a season like this. But you got to give me a body of work more than 8 years because if Judge retired this year, he would not be eligible for the Hall of Fame. So you got to play at least 10 years to be eligible for the Hall of Fame. So I can't say that Judge is better than Jeter because Jeter has more time in and has 3,500 hits.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's going to take a little bit more time, but he's on his way, Michael. He's certainly on his way. And, you know, you can't just go by hits because, you know what, this might sound like a try. I think Derek Jeter's a better player than Pete Rose.
Right.
But he's got way more hits than Derek. I mean, so you just can't go by the length of hits. I'll never call Jeter a compiler, but he played a long, long time.
Rose
he was
played longer.
very, very consistent. But, you know, again, it's very difficult to compare. It's like comparing a point guard to a center. It's almost like comparing a forward to a defenseman. I mean, Derek Jeter was never going to hit that many home runs. He wasn't a home run hitter. You know, he was a 310 lifetime batting average. Judge has a 288 lifetime batting average. So, but when you're looking at just the sheer numbers this guy is putting up here, it's pretty incredible. And I think that if he had not ran into that wall at Chavez Ravine, we'd be talking about 3 years as a clean player, some of the greatest baseball we've ever seen. And in his rookie year, 52 home runs. Injuries have kind of held him back between 17 and 22 because he never played a full season because of the injuries. But when he plays every day, Michael, he's putting up numbers that we've never seen before.
And he's probably the best advertisement for A, going to college, and B, not going to college. Because look at the late start he had. So I was talking to somebody at the stadium, and I said, I think he's going to end up, approaching 700 home runs. I said, how's that possible? They said, well, what do you mean? I said, let's say he finishes this year with 320, which is a possibility, right? 320. He's 32 years old.
Right.
For the next 6 years, until he's 38, he's going to have to average 50 home runs a year to get to 620. Do you think he's going to hit 50 home runs a year when he's 37? I mean, God bless him. I hope he does. But the likelihood of that is very small.
But if you continue to put up numbers, even if it ends up not being as long a career as Derek Jeter or Juan Soto, because you can look at Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax didn't play a long time. Still considered one of the greatest pitchers of all time because when he pitched, he was lights out. So Peter put it best. So we're seeing things we've never seen before. That never happened with Derek. Derek was just a very consistently great player throughout his entire career.
Long, consistent career.
But the thing that separates Derek from everybody else are those 5 rings. Because he did have contemporaries. Like, as great as he was, there were players that were similar to him. Maybe not as good as him.
You could say Alex was better if he stayed at shortstop, right?
Alex was better.
But Alex had help, right?
I've seen comparable players, maybe not necessarily shortstops, but, you look at Tony Gwynn, you look at guys like Rod Carew or George Brett. I mean, we've seen guys hit for average, get a ton of base hits. We've seen great players like that. But if Judge continues the way he's going, Mike, we've never seen anybody like that except Bonds, and we know Bonds was compromised. We knew Alex Rodriguez was compromised, but even Alex compromised wasn't putting up numbers like this.
All right, we're going to take a brief timeout. We got a lot to do. Where does Judge stand if he doesn't win a ring? I mean, can he be mentioned with DiMaggio on Mantle and Ruth and Gehrig and Yogi? Will his numbers just get him on that mountain, or does he need that diamond? Well, first Don's going to tell us about Mazda.
Well, good morning.
Here comes comes the heat.
Say hello to the Bronx Buds, Yes's first ever animated series for the whole family.
See ya, and the crowd goes wild.
Now streaming. Join Riv, Bash, Oscar, and the rest of their gang for a baseball adventure around the Big Apple.
Bronx pride is on the line.
Hexclad presents Bronx Buds, now streaming exclusively on the Yes app. Brought to you by Hexclad.
Mwah. Magnifico.
That's Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Sometimes you get the feeling you're watching a Hall of Famer right in the middle of his prime.
The captain is rolling.
They're going to need a longer tape measure.
A monster blast. See ya. Wow.
Out for you and everyone you care for. It takes MSK.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge: rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Whoa, if you want my 2 cents on interest rates, we got options.
My 2 cents. This one's priced to sell. My 2 cents? My 2 cents?
My 2 cents?
My 2 cents? My 2 cents?
Here's my 2 cents. I'm planning for the future. Interest plus interest equals more interest. Come on, you can get that.
Hi, Joan. Perfect timing. I have a few questions.
Of course. Let's look at your plan.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Returning lessees can now lease a Ford F-150 for just $299 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
Aaron Judge, the Mets are off. They split 4 in San Diego, so they're off today. Tomorrow, big announcement. It'll be the first time our show is going to be on the same day as we have a Met game against
crazy.
Arizona. And to celebrate that fact, Don and Peter, you don't even know this, in the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to have New York Met manager Carlos Mendoza on with us.
There you go.
Also, we're going to have New York Met broadcaster Howie Rose on with us as well.
Oh, friend of the show.
My spirit animal.
He's your spirit animal. Why is that?
That's right. Because I think we share a lot in common. I wanted to be Howie when I was younger. I'd watch and listen to every Met game, and when I did watch, I'd run and listen to the postgame show. Mets Extra was like a religion for me. He was the host of it. Then he moved on to television. Also a huge hockey guy. He filled in for Marv. I fill in for Marv's son, Kenny, on Rangers. So you could see the correlation.
I do. Now I do, yeah.
We share a lot in common. We have a lot of the same interests.
So maybe you'll bog down the interview and tell them the whole story tomorrow.
I've done it already. How many times do I got to tell the story?
Who knows?
I called him my spirit animal. We understand it. We move on. Now we've got things to talk about. We're working together again. When I worked at the Fan, he did Met games, and I made sure I reached out to him. Like, it's nice to have him part of the family again.
He is part of the family, yeah, absolutely.
Next Tuesday will be my 23rd anniversary here at ESPN. And other than the national baseball broadcast that we've had on this radio station, we've never been a home for a team.
And now we are.
Major League Baseball. And so we've got an NBA team, of course, and a hockey team, and now baseball. It's going to be amazing. And these should be a fun last 30-plus games here to see if they can get into the playoffs. I love talking about it.
Well, we'll have Howie. We're going to have Carlos Mendoza. So all that is great. That's going to be tomorrow. We're talking a lot about the Yankees today. The 5 home runs as a team, the 3 home runs in a row, back to back to back, and Judge with 2 more home runs. So he has 51 on the season. He's on pace for 63. Now, we had a Zoom meeting with a lot of ESPN people today. And on that Zoom meeting, Tim Kirchin actually said he thinks he's going to hit 65 home runs.
No, why not?
So I don't like to do the Mount Rushmore thing because Mount Rushmore, to me, limits you to 4 people. And when you're talking about Yankee greats, I mean, some of the Mount Rushmore alignments that you hear about Yankee greats, you're leaving Yogi Berra off, who has 10 World Series rings. Or you might be leaving Mariano off, who has 5 World Series rings. So the 3 gimmies, I think. The 3 gimmies. Well, I think there's 4 gimmies. I think you leave off Jeter and you leave off Mo. I think it's Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, and Mantle. Those are the 4.
But I think it's so unfair that when you've gone back that far,
right?
And the way the game has changed to just have 4.
That's why I don't want to play Mount Rushmore. So we'll play a version of Peter's quarterback table.
Yeah, because, listen, nobody's going to take anything away from Babe Ruth. I mean, he's one of the greatest players of all time, but he only played against white players. And so there's a whole... The whole ethnicity he didn't play against, which might have made his numbers go down.
Never traveled west of the Mississippi.
Didn't travel. He traveled by train, which is probably a lot harder. Didn't play night games. It's a different world. For Gehrig too. So that changes. Also, you played the same 8 teams.
Didn't use a bat.
No, he used a bat.
But you played the same 8
had to catch
teams.
the ball barehanded.
But let's graduate beyond Ruth, which was 100 years ago. If you want to go a little bit more modern, you go to DiMaggio or even Mantle or Berra. Still, you played the same 7 other teams, right? It was an 8-team league until 61, right? So that's you didn't have interleague play. You played the same 7 teams. You won your league, which was still hard to do, but still you only had an 8-team league. You went right to the World Series. So you didn't have wild card and divisional round and league championship series before you got to the World Series. So that makes it harder to win. I laugh when we just all of a sudden throw, Yogi Berra's got 10 rings. All right, but you know what? His 10 rings were a lot easier to obtain than anybody could ever think about getting 10 rings.
Yeah,
today. And it's the same with Will Chamberlain.
Wait. Nobody else had 10 rings.
No, but I'm saying the same with Russell. It's the same with Maurice Richard or Henri Richard.
But you have to say that in that time, they did something that no other player could do.
I understand that. But
so you're saying
now
that Jeter's 5 is equal to Yogi's to 10?
Yes.
I mean, again, I don't know if this is an equation, but let's just agree that Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle, Berra, all-time greats, all sitting at the front table.
No, I agree, right. but I think all I'm saying is you throw out the 10 rings. I think Jeter's 5 is comparable to Yogi's 10, considering that Jeter had to go through 3 rounds in order to win those rings, as opposed to Yogi, who had just went to the World Series and won a championship.
All right, so then we're going to put Jeter and Rivera at that front table as well, and I think that's fair. I think that Mattingly and other greats. Winfield, Pettit, guys whose numbers are on the wall might be at the second or third table. So let's just extrapolate and say Judge hit 63 home runs this year. And so he has 2 years of 60 home runs, 3 years of 50 home runs or more. So he's only the fifth player in baseball history to do it. And if you want to just say clean player, it's he and Ruth. If Judge finishes with 500 home runs and has these unbelievable seasons of 62 and 63 and 52 in his rookie year, but he never wins a World Series ring, does he get to sit at that table with those greats, or does he get relegated to the second table because the ring is probably the thing that's a secret code to get you to this first table?
Well, Yankee fans will say he doesn't belong on the table because he didn't win. But I don't know how fair that is. I really don't.
So you might put him at that first table.
If you put together those types of historic seasons, and it just gets devalued because he doesn't have a ring. And DiMaggio and Ruth and Garrick and they automatically are ahead of him, and Jeter too, because of the multiple rings that they had. Well, we can't dig any deeper. Now, listen, Michael, if he never hits in the postseason, I think that's going to hurt him. If he's the reason they don't win, then I could see that being a real issue. And right now, you could say that he hasn't been great in the postseason. A .211 hitter. What does he have? 13 home runs in the postseason. Not bad, but a lot more games than a lot of others have played. But I don't know if it's fair to be able to throw out that he's the reason why they haven't won a ring while he's been here. But if those numbers don't change over the next 7-8 years and they don't win, yeah, it's probably going to hurt
So let
him.
me ask you this, both of you guys. Is A-Rod at that first table? 2 MVPs with the team, an unbelievable World Series run.
No.
He's not at the first table.
Well, because of the PEDs.
Oh, okay.
I guess it depends on seats at size of table.
What's that?
I guess it depends on size of table.
I just think people look at those numbers as ill-gotten gain. Not everybody does, but I think that, compared to other clean players.
All right, but if you take PEDs out of the equation, right, which is hard. He played 13 years for the Yankees, won 2 MVPs, won a World Series, finished with 696 home runs.
Right.
All right, so let's say that PEDs never happened. We can't because they did. I mean, the guy was suspended for a year. Is he at that table then?
Yes.
You think he is?
Yeah, with the MVPs. And not all those home runs were hit as a Yankee.
Right. But 13 years, a lot of home runs.
But 13 years is a long time, yeah. But it's hard to ignore the PEDs and the lying and the suspension. I mean, there's a lot of things that I think really hurt Alex. But if you wanted to take all that out and just look at the sheer numbers, how could he not be?
Okay, not in terms of their skill set, but in terms of what they did while a Yankee. Is A-Rod ahead of Roger Maris?
Wow. That's a great question because Roger Maris had the 61 and he won 2 MVPs. People just think, it was that 61. He won 2 MVPs.
And
I don't look at Roger
and 2
at that
World
table.
Series.
I mean, because there'll be some Yankee fans saying, well, why is Thurman not at that table? He won an MVP. He won 2 World Series.
Of time.
He had 292 lifetime, had big postseason home runs. So, again, the Yankee table gets really crowded. That's why if Thurman's not at the first table and he has 2 rings, does Judge get at that table with none?
You know what I think we need to do?
Because Judge is going to have 2 MVPs, too.
I think we need to have some guts tomorrow and actually make the first table. You know how Don's always saying, why do we talk about other people's lists? On this show, the Michael K. Show, if we were to make the Yankee table list, it would make some noise. We should just make the tables.
Now, the thing that hurt Maris, Michael, is that it was really just those 2 MVP seasons. Now, 62 wasn't bad, 33 and 100, but then 23 and 53, 26 and 71. It was really just too short a period of time. 2 MVPs. He had 3 straight All-Star games, but it was too short a period of time. I mean, I would think Judge has surpassed Maris already.
I'm intrigued by where to put Judge because, again, let's say he's going to win the MVP this year. Let's say he has 1 more MVP in him. He might. Why not? That's 3. And he holds the American League all-time single-season record for home runs in 1 year. He's done it twice. Those are pretty special accolades to have.
Well, when you were talking about Maris, by the way, you didn't even mention 61.
Right.
And that's a record that held up forever. So that needs to be in the conversation for him, too.
But you're looking at like Joe DiMaggio. Now, obviously, he had... So you can't go crazy with his totals because he literally missed 3 consecutive seasons because of military service. So he would have definitely finished with way more home run. He had 361 home runs. He's probably maybe approaching 500 if he was able to play those 3 seasons. But still, you're talking about a 3-time MVP, right? So this is an all-time player who had the hit, obviously the inning streak, the hit streak, and all that. But 3 MVPs. Oh, there's a chance the Judge can surpass that. Yeah. 13 All-Stars. Well, I don't know if he'll get to that because of just because of the fact that he didn't play. His rookie year wasn't until he was 24 years old. But 2 batting titles. Judge can do that. He can win the batting title this year, right? He can win another one.
I think he's like 13 points behind Witt. It's gonna be tough. If he wins the batting title, he's gonna win the Triple Crown.
So what is he behind?
And when another Yankee, when I even met Whitey Ford. Whitey Ford's one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Is he at that first table? That's why you can't play Mount Rushmore with the Yankees. You just can't. You can't narrow it down to 4. You can't.
Well, no, 4. That's why the table's perfect.
Right. But I do think it's so weird, right? Because football, we do it in football very easily, because we don't count anything before the Super Bowl. Like, there was that moment where, like, once we got to the Super Bowl, it's like anything that happened pre-1967, it's almost like it didn't happen. It's probably time to start talking about that with baseball. Should you really start looking at the numbers once we get to 69? Because 69 was the first year in which we had broken it down into the 4 divisions. You added the extra round of the playoffs. We already had expanded a few times. Because, again, we're talking about a 16-team league for some of the guys that we're talking about, in which you only played in your own league, so you only played 7 other teams. You hardly really traveled. It was a completely different world. A lot of these guys didn't play against African Americans, and once you started to, it wasn't like there was a flood of African Americans, Michael, or minorities. Period. Now we're looking at the best of the best all around the world playing in this league. We've got 30 teams. We've got 3 layers of playoffs before you get to the World Series. When do we just put that line of demarcation in and say, okay, that's the old-time stuff. We agree, we acknowledge it, but it's really, really unfair to compare any of the players over the last 50 years to the guys that played, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s,
I don't think you could do that in baseball.
Well, you could do it.
You could do it, but it's like the bedrock of what the sport's built on is comparing eras.
But I understand that. But it's also unfair because the game was just so different. And we got no problem changing football to when the Super Bowl started. Yeah. Super Bowl's not even 60 years old, and we've got no problem with just talking about the Super Bowl era.
Right.
Well, I don't know what you would call it, but there's got to be a different era here, Michael. I mean, I don't know how to compare these players. I mean, look at them in all sports too. Like who is going to go out there in the NHL now and go win 10 titles the way Henri Richard did? How are you going to win? How are you going to win 10 Stanley Cups? Most of the time, it was the guy. It was a 6-team league. You play 2 rounds, you won a cup. Like, is that fair to compare it now when you've got 32 teams and you've got 4 rounds before you can win a championship? I just think that you gotta factor these things in. I don't want to say it was easy back in the day, but it was certainly a lot easier to win a championship back in the day. Why do you think it's the Yankees won all the championships of baseball? Canadians won all the championships in hockey. The Celtics won all the championships in the NBA. Doesn't that tell you how much easier it was back then? You happened to be on the right team and bang, you won 9 championships in 10 years. It just happened. Yankees won 5 championships, rattling off without even trying. It was crazy because it was just not the same layers. It was just a lot easier. So don't tell me Joe DiMaggio's better because he's got 9 rings. Well, how many rings would Derek Jeter had if he played in the 40s and 50s?
You're right. But remember, in that same era, Ted Williams had no rings. So So there's
Well, because
something
he's happened to be
special
on the
about
wrong
it.
team.
Right.
Well, if one team's winning all the titles, then that means nobody else is winning any of them.
But that team did win all the titles. Other teams had an opportunity. The other 7 teams had an opportunity to make the
True,
and
but,
they didn't.
However, something that never gets discussed that is a major reason why sports changed dramatically, and that was a draft. Do you realize we played a long time in sports without a draft?
That's what the downfall of the Yankees.
Why do you think the Montreal Canadiens were so good? They got every French-Canadian player. You weren't allowed to play anybody else.
And the Yankees got everybody. And then they started the draft, and it was over.
If you want to see where the Yankee dominance really faded, was the draft. Because it was all just you grabbed anybody you wanted to.
Right, and the draft essentially is you want to reward teams that play poorly. So the Yankees kept winning, and they kept getting low draft picks, and then the teams that were losing got high draft picks, and it eventually evened out.
And because you're in New York and because you're winning championships and you get a lot of money, you're able to go out and be able to win over those players. You can convince, Joe DiMaggio to go from San Francisco there. It just worked out that Garrick was here in New York already.
Look when it started to turn. The Yankees were bad for a number of years. They drafted high. They got Thurman Munson. They got Ron Guidry. When you start drafting high, all of a sudden you can restock. And that's how they became good again. And then the advent of free agency. Now, there was one thing that happened over the weekend. I wonder if Don and Peter even saw it, and it does fall under the heading of cop-out. It was a big source of conversation. A lot of the writers wanted to ask a lot of these players that were there for Old Timers Day, does A-Rod deserve to have his number retired? And, David Cohn said yes. He said, I feel like Monument Park is kind of a museum, and Alex is part of baseball history. He should be out there. I don't like that answer. You know how I feel about David. That's the same thing with the Hall of Fame. It's a museum. Everybody has to be represented. Doesn't mean everybody has to have a plaque. Everybody is represented in the Hall of Fame, even Pete Rose. Even Shoeless Joe Jackson is mentioned in the Hall of Fame, but they don't get a plaque. But Derek Jeter and Jorge Posada came out and said, that's not my decision. Well, I know it's not your decision. What do you think? I mean, to me, that's a cop-out answer. It's like if you ask me, should Pete Rose belong in the Hall of Fame? Well, it's not my decision. I know it's not my decision, but what do you, Michael Kay, think? I think Pete Rose does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame because he broke the cardinal rule. I think that they should be allowed to vote on him, but it's not my decision. It's not my decision answer to me is such a I don't want any part of this. That's not an answer, guys.
Well, to me it is an answer. And
it means that they say he doesn't belong out there.
Right.
So say it.
But they don't have the guts to say it because they don't want to say it. They don't want to hung on him because they probably like the guy, but they probably genuinely believe he doesn't belong there. Because otherwise, if you believe he's in there, then what would stop you from saying yes?
I agree with you.
So you don't want to say no, so you say it's not for me to say.
But again, don't they know that everybody sees through? It's not for me to say. Nothing that you're asked opinions about is for you to say.
Right. I do believe eventually it'll happen.
I don't know, Don. I don't know.
Only because I really believe there's a generation of fans that love Alex, don't care about.
He got a nice hand too, by the way.
He did. And then eventually, those people will have a say and let him in. Now, I can't answer to the Hall of Fame because there's obviously term limits, right? You go a certain length of time, then you're not eligible for the Hall of Fame.
10 years.
But as far as you don't think that maybe 30 years from now, they'll look back at the numbers. PED ages a lot better because there's a whole generation of fans that never cared about it in the first place. And now they're voters. Now they're writers. Now they work in the business. Maybe they're working in the Yankees front office and saying, you know what? Alex is older now. Goodwill. He's been a good guy for us since he retired. Let's put him in. You would have to admit, Michael, from the time he was suing the Yankees, and we were having conversations about him being an absolute pariah, we never dreamed in a million years that he would be where he is right now.
No, I agree.
So why not another 10, 20 years? We extrapolate it out to be even better.
It's two separate questions. With the Hall of Fame, there's a guardrail for changing opinion that much because you're only on the ballot for 10 years.
But you do have the Veterans Committee.
But I think that ex-players probably want to keep PD guys out more. I mean, it's the ex-players that don't want Pete Rose in either. Joe Morgan did, but other guys don't.
But they're going to die off, and there's going to be other Hall of Famers that might not care as much.
I don't know. With the Yankees, I mean, as long as the Steinbrenner family owns the team and the people that are in charge of the team, I think the fact that he was threatening to sue the team is really going to hurt him. Really, and I think that Hal actually likes him. But let's say that Derek doesn't think he should be in. How much sway does Derek have? I don't know. I don't know if Derek thinks he should be in. But when he was asked, he said, "Well, that's not my decision."
Well, then the answer, again, I believe then the answer is no, he doesn't belong.
And by the way, I mean, apparently Derek has sway. There's no old timers game, right? So it seems like this guy has sway.
And it really, if you believe what I said, that when he says it's not up to me, he says no, Derek's still keeping score.
Derek is the guy who keeps score every day of his life.
And that's why
he's great.
That's why fans love him. But I don't think if it's up there, Derek Jeter. But things can change. You know, if the Yankees, even if the Steinbrenner's in charge, or maybe if Hal's still alive at this particular point, and he sees the ovations that Alex gets on Old Timers Day, and the fans start demanding, he may have a change of heart. You know, people that have gotten divorced have gotten remarried. Divorce is kind of, in essence, suing each other, right? So
very rarely, though, do people get divorced and then marry the same person again.
It does happen,
yeah, but it's rare.
I know somebody that did.
Yeah, it's rare.
That happened. And no, it's rare. And I think Alex is really changed. Did you ever think, with all the things that were going on, that he'd be on ESPN, he'd be on Fox, he'd be welcome back to Yankee Stadium? I remember specifically having a conversation with you. Do you think Alex will ever be invited back to Yankee Stadium? You're like, there's no way. He just sued the team. He's a pariah. Everybody hates him, and now he's invited back. And there's actual conversation about could he go to Monument Park one day? Believe me, times will change, and different people are going to be in charge making those decisions. They're going to look at things way different than we do.
It's funny, though. It's a real third rail issue, because in a press conference before the game, Chris Kirchner of The Athletic came right out and said to Boone, "Do you think that Alex Rodriguez should be in Monument Park?" And there was like this long pause, and Boone said, "Kirchner, oh, wow." I mean, because nobody wants to touch it, and then he just said, "You certainly can make a case for it." That's as far as he went.
Yeah,
but I think it's a real third rail issue.
Because there's certain people that they would rather see anything in the world than that. But would you admit that those are older people?
I don't know.
Look at baseball.
I think it also could be people, let's say within the organization, that really don't like him, and that they will never be swayed. Now, I did find out something that has not been reported, that the Yankees, they have a really extensive hitters meeting before every single game. They go over everything. They invited 3 old-timers to, like, not run the meeting, but certainly give their take on everything. You want to guess the 3?
All right, so...
Well, you know what? Why don't we break?
That's tease-worthy.
Let people think. Who were the 3 old-timers that were invited to be at the front of the room during what is a very important meeting before every single game? Think about it. We'll tell you when we get back. But first, Peter has to tell me about Doge.
Listen, I spotted it from the start. Breaking didn't even have a name yet. Bunch of kids from the South Bronx who didn't just knock on the door, they kicked it down. And today, it's your time. It's all about spotting it early. And if you do, no victory is out of reach.
This is the GMC Sierra, powered by the TurboMax engine, with the confidence of 430 pound-feet of best-in-class standard torque. GMC Sierra, it's the truck. Current eligible GMC lessees can get this low-mileage lease on this 2024 Sierra Elevation for around $389 per month. We are professional-grade GMC.
All right, boys, who we betting on?
However you bet, whoever you are, the sportsbook for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Home Plate New York heads to Harlem as Chef Marcus Samuelson and the Globetrotters dine at Sylvia's Restaurant. Streaming now, exclusively on the Yes app. This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
How's the ketchup? Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, just stressed out.
Oh, and the melody is sounding so much better. I can play it for you. Wait, where's your guitar?
I gave it to your cousin.
What? That guitar's like your favorite thing.
I don't need it anymore. Some things are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
I'm former Major League pitcher Andy Pettit. I teamed up with Tunnel to Towers after seeing their life-changing work with military and first responder families. Now we're expanding our mission to help veterans struggling with homelessness. We want to help them rebuild their lives not only by giving them a home, but by providing the services they need. Please join me in donating at t2t.org.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
Is it time yet? It's time. Punch time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Fans, ESPN New York is giving you the chance to score an amazing road trip and travel with the home team when New York visits Philadelphia. You and the guests can enjoy the weekend with round-trip train tickets and hotel accommodations. For official rules and to enter, visit the ESPN New York app and click on Travel with the Home Team. It's all brought to you by Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball, and C4 Energy. Crack open a can of C4 Performance Energy for a sip of the official energy drink of summer. All right, so I put this out there for you all to think about. Old Timers Day was Saturday at the stadium. A plethora of great players came back celebrating the 2009 championship and others from the championships of the 90s. The Yankee, Aaron Boone, invited 3 of the old-timers to be in the hitters meeting that they run before the game. Very extensive, important meeting they have. All the players, all the hitters attend. Who were the 3 Yankees that were invited?
All right. Can I go first?
Sure.
I'll say Jeter, A-Rod, and Swisher.
Jeter, A-Rod, Swisher. Okay. How about you, Peter?
The 3 captains. Jeter. Posada. Rivera.
You're both right there, but you didn't get all 3. If you fused a couple of your answers, you would have gotten it.
We had them all there.
Had them all.
So I thought there'd be one that was odd. So that's why I went Swisher.
It was just a random guess.
But I guess Posada, A-Rod, and Jeter.
That's it. That's the 3. Posada, A-Rod,
and the reason I didn't go there is I figured you made it like a tease, so I thought maybe there was a surprise there. Like, is there a pitcher? Like you went with Rivera.
A-Rod's kind of a surprise, no?
No, he's been an advisor.
Yeah, but hasn't been for years. So
and
he's never been invited back to an old timers day. So I've communicated with Alex since then, and I think it meant the world to him that they asked him to do that.
See, those are the little things, Michael, that I think help Alex in the long run. Like a little thing like that he was thrilled about it, genuinely excited about returning. Listen, nothing's going to hurt Jeter because of all that he's accomplished. But if you put everything else aside, the fact that he seems put off by a lot of stuff could potentially turn off fans. They won't because they love the guy because of all the championships and all the greatness. But don't you like when people are excited about doing things like that?
Oh, absolutely. And like somebody asked Alex, they had Alex and Jeter on the press conference podium together. I think there was another player too, but I know those two were definitely together. And somebody asked Alex, when's the last time you put on that uniform? Because all the players wear their uniform tops. And before Alex could answer, Derek goes, wears it every day at night.
Yeah.
And Alex said, I haven't worn it since I sat here on August 12th, my last game ever. So, I mean, being a Yankee to Alex, it right. means everything to him to be accepted back into the family like that.
And so doesn't that kind of come across as Alex, he loved being a Yankee so much that he wears it every day. Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, why do you have to be that way? Like, he does, since he's retired, it almost feels like he just doesn't want to be bothered. And I'm not talking about buying the Marlins. That was, smart by him, stay in baseball. But he couldn't wait to tell people he was never going to pick up a bat again. Like, he was done. Okay, fine, you're done. But, not coming back to the stadium right away.
Well, he didn't come back to the stadium when he owned the Marlins.
But I think it just comes across as trying to be a little too cool for school. Like, listen, you accomplished so much, Derek. All right, why? Why do you have to be that way? Now, taking a shot at Alex is probably going to win a lot of some fans over.
But that's the kind of relationship they have. They kind of go at each other. So I understand.
Needle. Sure.
But Jeter's very good on Fox, I think. I think he's excellent.
No, he's very good. Because he's honest and he gives an assessment of things. But I think sometimes he's a little too honest for his own good when it comes to the Yankees.
Now,
just to come back.
Speaking of great players, I don't know if you guys saw this. You know that I'm a big proponent of thinking that Tom Brady's going to be great as a broadcaster.
You've been saying it
since day one.
Well, at the Fanatics Fest in New York, Stephen A. Smith interviewed him, talked about criticizing players. And, in general, he pretty much said, well, I'm not going to kill anybody because, there are families behind them. What? I mean, they're paying you $36 million a year. I mean, if somebody does something really bad, you've got to criticize them. If he's not going to criticize people, because, again, I know a lot of people feel like this. There are families behind. I don't call for people to get fired, but I certainly criticize people when they don't do it. But I'm not getting paid the money that Tom – and the rules of engagement of his job are to sit there and criticize.
I would sort of not mind it as much if he said, I got to be real with you. It's just not my style to be overly critical. Like, that's not my style. But I don't like it being that everybody has family. Like, it's for the protection of people's feelings and your family.
Listen, nobody say, hey, that guy's fat or he's ugly. I mean, no, but if he drops the ball, then criticize him for dropping the ball. I mean, I think that's what an analyst is supposed to do. But you know who actually was the opposite of that, Michael, and it worked until obviously he had the ending he had was Gruden. Remember when Gruden did Monday Night Football? Like, everybody was fantastic.
But I don't think he was that great on
look
the
at the
air.
effort. They should just give him the catch anyway.
But I don't think he was that great.
But because eventually it just gets old. I think people, once they get, see, this was, I will warn everybody. I was so fortunate when, about 15 years ago, however long it was, when I was doing NHL Live over at Sirius XM, on Wednesdays, I'd fill in for Bob Papa on the opening drive on the football channel. Because Papa would have to do his Wednesday obligations with the Giants. And I would do a show with Jerry Rice. It was awesome. But after a while, it's like, all right, you're Jerry Rice, we get it. But now we want you to have opinions. We want you to be a good talk show host, which he was good. But the fact that he's Tom Brady will last probably maybe the first season. Hey, it's Tom Brady. This is great. But then eventually he's going to be judged by other guys to do the job. And are you good at it or not? And if all you're going to do is compliment everybody and apologize for everybody, nobody's going to care that you're Tom Brady. They're going to look at you as an analyst and are you good at it or bad at it? So this idea that Tom Brady does it will only last a certain amount of time. And then eventually he'll be judged like an analyst. And if he doesn't do his job, he's going to be bad at it.
Yeah,
and he'll be judged that
took me back a little bit because I don't need a guy to just destroy somebody, but you got to be critical. I mean, there are things going on that we don't know that you know, and you should be able to say it, call him out, and go, "That's not the thing to do." There doesn't mean that you're destroying his family.
I still think of all the crazy things we hear about in media and the insane numbers. Nothing blows my mind more than the money being thrown at former football players, even if it's Tom Brady, to call football games. I
don't get it either.
Cannot justify the value. I just don't.
They can't help but get ratings. Can't help it.
I understand. You go to some golf outings, you show up at some stuff. Cool, great. It just seems like all these companies, guys, are always looking for reasons to cut everything. To cut 50 jobs here, downsize this, do that. But then they have so much money to throw at a game broadcast that is going to do gangbusters no matter who does it. Listen, I'm like semi-curious, but it will have no impact on my schedule on Sundays.
And you know what? It's not like he was universally loved. There's a lot of fan bases who can't stand Tom Brady.
Now, Raceman actually gave the quotes in his Sunday column. So Stephen A. said, what kind of personality can we expect from Tom Brady? And Brady said, the most challenging thing is when I see something on the field, and I think that was horrible. Like, I just can't say that on TV. And Stephen A. said, well, why not? He said, well, because there's parents and there are players' family members watching the broadcast, and I don't necessarily want to say it in that way. But I just don't want to be so critical because in some ways, I don't necessarily know what the problem was in that situation. And then he brought up the Daniel Jones throws an interception. Well, but that's why you're getting paid all that money, to tell me why that happened.
No, you don't have to say that was horrible, but you can still be critical and say that that's not the way you do it or that it should be done this way. The only thing I'm ever told is just be fair. And if you're fair with your criticism, then it should be handled. But like I said, if you're going to name call or use words like horrible or that's terrible, that's the worst play I've ever seen, well, then I can understand maybe a player getting a little bent out of shape about it. But if he drops a third down pass when he's wide open, what are you supposed to say?
Let's go to the phones. Andrew in Queens. Andrew.
Fellas, how we doing? Glad to be on the 880 voyage with you all.
Cool. What's up?
So first off, Michael, I just want to say great job with the introduction during Old Timers Day. Was this the first time you did it without John?
I had actually when I started doing it, Andrew, I did it alone for like 2 years, and I went to Debbie Timon, who runs the whole thing. I said, you know what? I think John deserves to be on the field with me too. And then they had John join me.
Yeah, it was really well done. Obviously missed the game, and the Q&A does nothing for me as a fan, just because I feel like, again, someone else said it earlier, but I feel like we've heard the stories, and it stinks because you hear Jeter and Posada, two guys who clearly have no desire to ever play in the game, but there does seem to be other guys who want to. I like CeCe's idea of doing a softball game, so hopefully we do get to see some sort of iteration of the Old Timers game come back. Reason why I'm calling, so earlier in the show you guys were talking about the thought of how would Aaron Judge feel if Juan Soto made more money than him and vice versa. In my opinion, I think it comes down to two things. I think Aaron Judge doesn't care how much Juan Soto makes. And the reason why I say that is because I think he knows that this Yankee team is better with Juan Soto on it. Aaron Judge needs to win. Kind of going back to your whole, Mount Rushmore thing. Aaron Judge knows he needs to win as the captain. He's already won the hearts of Yankee fans. He is the captain of the team. He wants to be at that table, and I think he realizes that. Now, from Juan Soto's side, in terms of the Yankees, if I'm pitching to Juan Soto in the offseason, I know, again, there are teams that can and probably will spend more money, whether it be Steve Cohen. I think the Giants are a very much dark horse in the Soto sweepstakes. But if I'm the Yankees, and I think it's a main reason why they haven't swapped Juan Soto and Aaron Judge in the lineup, is because I think that this is the Yankees' way of saying, hey, listen, you are having the best year of your career hitting in front of Aaron Judge. I understand that may not be worth $100 million to you, but you can have the best career possible hitting in front of this guy for the next 10 years.
But Andrew, I don't know if you could sell him that because he's a great player. I mean, he was putting up numbers that no one ever done for the first 5-6 years of their career other than Ted Williams. So, yeah, he's having the best year of his career, but that doesn't mean that he can't have a great year without Aaron Judge.
And the 10 years is a little strong. Okay, 10 years takes Aaron Judge to 42 years old. I don't, as much as I'm a fan of Judge, Michael, I don't think he's going to be putting up those numbers in his late 30s. So what, you probably have, maybe
Well, Judge is signed through 39, I think.
I know, but he's not going to be that kind of a player that he is right now at 32.
You would think not.
And what I would sell him on is, there's going to be shade thrown on your light for the next couple of years of how good he is, but then eventually you are going to be the better player. And you're going to be carrying the team, and you're going to be the face of the franchise. That would probably be something I sell more so than, hey, you're going to have Judge protecting you in the order, because really, how long into the contract is that going to be valuable to him?
I'll tell you what, Passon said it when he was on with me the day I did the show alone. It's going to be the most fascinating November of all time. It just is. I mean, where is he going to go? What's the money going to be? Who's going to bid on him? And I think that's going to be the main story after the World Series. It just is.
I agree with the caller. I think the Giants are a dark horse. Nobody wants to take their money for some reason. But
you know what? Don't discount the Dodgers.
Well, right. Well, they've Dodgers. Texas. There's a
Cubs. Teams have money.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that are going to be throwing a lot of money at
Red Sox haven't spent money in a long time. They could pop in too.
Yeah.
Washington could pop in. They got a lot of money. So. Hey, to hit a home run, everything needs to line up perfectly.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
You can win big on Hard Rock Bet with a little bet.
Yeah.
Or a Post Malone size bet.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't need to know everything about every sport.
Good, because I don't.
Yeah, me either. All you need is a feeling and a phone.
Oh my gosh, I won.
You definitely need a phone.
We're good.
Big payouts for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
The fact that this Reese's ad showed up at this exact moment proves that your devices are listening to your stomach.
Your best defense against erosion and cavities is strong enamel. Nothing beats it. I recommend Pronamel Active Shield because it actively shields the enamel to defend against erosion and cavities. I think that this product is a game changer for my patients.
Try Pronamel mouthwash.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
Diversity is in our nature. Diverse cultures, identities, skills, and knowledge. Diversity is in nature, too. Biodiversity. Plants, animals, and ecosystems. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk now more than ever before. And our own future is at stake. So ask yourself, how can you contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
Here comes the heat!
Say hello to the Bronx Buds, Yes's first ever animated series for the whole family.
And the crowd goes wild!
Now streaming. Join Riv, Bash, Oscar, and the rest of their gang for a baseball adventure around the Big Apple.
Bronx Pride is on the line.
Hexclad presents Bronx Buds. Now streaming exclusively on the Yes app. Powered by Cal Auto Mall.
Magnifico.
And squish, and squish. Okay, good. Keep squishing, fingers relaxed. And squish. Great. Thank you. Good job.
Squish the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
A promise is a trust not to be broken. Whether spoken with an oath
Do solemnly swear.
It's your first day. You know I got your back, right?
or sealed with a pinky. In 1922, a group of soldiers launched USAA with a promise to take care of their own. And after 100 years, we're still taking care of the military community and their families. That's our mission, always.
At Domino's, we've heard in focus groups that some people don't love our classic crust.
Too doughy.
It's not thin enough.
So here's another pizza.
All the ingredients come together.
And so what if I told you this was Domino's?
Good for Domino's, for real.
Introducing Domino's New York style pizza. Try it tonight.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
Why is just a starting line? For the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show on the heels of Alex Rodriguez joining the Old Timers Day festivities on Saturday. Aaron Judge went out on Sunday and tied one of his records, hitting his 18th first-inning home run of the season, matching A-Rod's feat from 2001. We'll talk about some more history in just a moment, but first, Aaron Judge's second home run of the game here in his 51st of the season. This was the middle blast of back-to-back-to-back jacks from Soto, Judge, and Stanton. The Yankees captain is on pace to break his American League record of 62, and he joins these players as the only major leaguers to hit 50 in a season 3 times. Again, we're mentioning him in the same sentence as Babe Ruth to go along with Sosa, McGuire, and A-Rod. Can Judge continue to rule in 2024 in the shadow of the Capitol building? Find out tonight when he and his teammates begin a 3-game set with the Nationals. Our coverage begins with the pregame at 6, followed by first pitch a little after 6:30. It's the Yankees and Nationals. Coverage starting tonight at 6 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
First one of the week, the first 880 point guard. Think about that. That's a forever moment.
Chef special.
That is.
That's the stuff you remember. You know, first voice on the station, first point guard on the new signal.
Yeah.
All these things. I'm because I'm not good, but what I am is I'm a compiler.
You are.
You know,
You hang
23
around
years
long
next
enough
Tuesday.
that you're going to set records.
It's like, listen, he wasn't great, but he hung around for for 3 different signals and 3 different decades.
Different ownership.
Oh, you mean PDs, general managers?
You've killed a lot of PDs.
Well, PDs.
And PDs.
I don't think. And sometimes I'm good for the second time around.
Yeah, you're terrific. You really are terrific. You really are.
A goat. A true goat.
Evan in D.C. Evan?
Yeah, how you guys doing today?
What's
Thanks
up?
for taking my call.
You got it.
Hey, nothing much. Peter, I actually used to listen to you do the Maryland videos a long time ago about Duke and stuff. But yeah, no, I just had 2 points.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. The 2 points I just made, I know the other day, Don, you asked about kind of what Yankee fans, what we're looking for. I know one of the things that, for me at least, I just think every year we always have this high payroll. And, you hear a statement like Hal saying, I don't know if it's sustainable. And at some point, it's if you've already paid for these other guys, you have to pay for Juan Soto, right? That's just kind of my point on that.
But there's pay, Evan, and then there's what he's going to get. It's going to be generational. Well, he's a generational talent. I don't think we'll ever see money like this. We never have.
I think that it's worrisome when you attach him asking, is it sustainable or it's not sustainable, and then know that you are in the running to try to pay a guy, $500 million in a contract. Is that kind of just maybe sending a message that there is a limit and we're not sure we can match what some of these other teams are going to do? Because don't forget, you've got Cole, you've got Stanton, you've got Judge, you've got Rodon, you've got people that are under contract. And I understand what you say, Michael, then you can go cheap in the other positions, but you also want to make sure you're good at those other positions so you have a chance to win.
Let's go to Richard in Manhattan.
Sure. Oh, Richard.
Michael, Don, Peter. Michael, did you see a picture in Mushnick's article?
Yeah, it was terrific.
You look great. You look like a 35-year-old guy.
I think I was 35 in that picture, Richard.
Oh, is it an old picture? Oh, you look great.
It's an old picture, yes.
Hey, fellas, Richardson,
and an old
Bobby
refrain,
Richardson,
too. Go ahead.
Bobby Richardson, Tony Kubek, Craig Nettles, Mickey Rivers, they all belong in the Yankee wall, plaque tub wall. A-Rod sued the Yankees, case closed. You cannot overcome that. That was bad. And those other 4 guys, Don, you're right on the money with Judge being Koufax. But Koufax had 3 seminal World Series events, and of course he pitched the 4 no-hitters. One, of course, was the perfect game. Now the 3 were the two-day rest when he beat Minnesota, Game 7, shutout. Opening game against the Yankees, 15 strikeouts, which was huge, and the greatest thing Koufax ever did, not pitching on Yom Kippur and introducing the Jewish religion to the rest of the world. I thought that was fantastic. Michael, I was at the Yankee game yesterday, and I saw a basketball celebrity, but I'll tell you what happened. During the timeout when the umpire got hit, I walked around in where the concession stands are, and they have the pictures of all the old Yankees from 27 on the championship team.
Well, Richard, wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Buy the yes. Stay here on 880. Please continue, Richard.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, our coverage of the Yankees and Nationals gets underway with the pregame show. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Returning lessees can now lease a Ford Explorer for just $319 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores.
This is you, and this is your first hunch of the season.
It's parlay time.
With FanDuel, a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV will give you many more.
Buffalo. It's Broncos time. Psst, I'd take the over.
And you can easily act on whichever one speaks to you.
Eagles, Browns, Broncos, Bills. They all...
And make every moment more.
New customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. Plus, every customer gets a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. Only from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Your memory is an amazing thing, but sometimes it can start to slow down. But did you know Prevagen can help keep your memory sharp? The secret is the powerful ingredient apoaquarin, originally discovered in jellyfish and found only in Prevagen. In a clinical study, Prevagen was shown to improve memory in subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. Stay sharp and improve your memory with Prevagen. Prevagen, in stores everywhere without a prescription.
It's a big match, and only the best will win.
Just blaze, Godzilla bankroll, stole some Chili on. Yo, I ain't got it all. That means I'm barely on.
Order Pizza Hut now and get a free large pizza later. That's a free pizza on your next order. So you can pizza now, then pizza again. Free pizza means your next dinner is covered. Your future self will thank you. Get it while it's hot. Only at Pizza Hut.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
High fly ball, deep right field off the bat of Soto. There it goes. See ya. Into the bleachers, a long home run.
And that was a bomb there. That hit the back of the bullpen. Michael, how many times can you say these guys are fun to come to the ballpark and watch, huh?
Here's Judge. Can they go back to back? High fly ball, right field. Back to back. He's done it again. A 2-home run day for Judge. Home run number 51.
They're having too much fun. What else do you say?
That one is drilled deep to center field. See ya. Oh, ho, ho. Into Monument Park. Back to back to back.
You've got three guys that on any given day on one swing can put one in the seats. What a fun inning for the Yankees.
Soto, Judge, Stanton, the way it's written up, the way you planned it.
With 7 home runs since Tuesday, it is no surprise Aaron Judge just picked up American League Player of the Week honors. The Bombers have been capitalizing on the long ball, and they'll try to keep the fireworks going during a quick swing through the nation's capital. It is the first of 3 in D.C. as the New York Yankees face off against the Washington Nationals on a Monday evening at Nationals Park. Getting right to our Yale New Haven Health key matchup. Total home runs this season for Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and Giancarlo Stanton, 111. Total homers for all of the Washington Nationals combined, 107, and that's tied for the fewest in the majors. Soto, Judge, and Stanton are coming off a game where they went back to back to back. The 17th time it's happened in Yankees history. And we hope you're having a great night. Welcome to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. 1 to 3 between the Yanks and the Nats. And it's a quick little road trip, Jack. And you think as you look at this game against a sub-500 team, maybe you zip into town, you take 3 wins, you zip out, you head back to the Bronx. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
That's the plan for Aaron Boone and the Yankees. But while they're there, Bob, they're going to want to put on a little bit of a show because the Yankees are a traveling road show for the next 3 days in D.C. And who's the biggest star of that show? It's Aaron Judge, even as Juan Soto has a homecoming of sorts in D.C. The Yankees want to be an entertaining squad, but they want to win baseball games as well. Judge is on pace to hit 63, Bob. Sometimes it seems as if he's on pace to hit a home run in every at-bat. But you mentioned it, when you're playing an under 500 team, as much as what Judge and Soto and Stanton have done is amazing and is electrifying, you got to win the games that you're supposed to win. And this is a game the Yankees are supposed to win. They'll need some help from Nestor Cortez as well.
All right, let's get it down to D.C. right now. Meredith Morakovich standing by with the Clubhouse Report presented by your local Ford stores. And Meredith, going into this game, Jack's right, the electricity rippled in the stadium yesterday. You wonder if they took it down to D.C. And if this is a traveling road show, then those Nats pitchers must feel like they're doing a high-wire act without a net for the next 3 nights.
Well, Bob, it already feels a little bit like Yankee Stadium. You should see all the Yankees fans in the crowd already, just waiting to get a glimpse of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. You mentioned Sunday, the energy in the ballpark in that 7th inning in particular was absolutely electric. It's not every day you see Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and Giancarlo Stanton go back to back to back. In fact, when I spoke to Aaron Judge on the field and asked him about that, he kind of just smiled and said, yeah, you don't see that on a daily basis. It was fun to be a part of it. You showed earlier in the show the 3 of them have combined to hit 111 home runs so far this season. As a team, they've hit 203. That is the most in Major League Baseball. Earlier, I asked Aaron Boone how he would describe his 2, 3, and 4 hitter in Soto, Judge, and Stanton.
Powerful. Yeah, I mean, they're, from a power standpoint, you know, they're 3 of the guys that come to mind probably if you're talking about power hitters in the sport. On top of obviously, you know, being great hitters and obviously what Juan and Aaron especially are doing, you know, from being in that MVP conversation and all that. But it's been really exciting too to see Giancarlo, you know, kind of pick up where he left off after missing a month of, you know, felt like he was such a presence for us the first couple months of the season, and he's continued that now as he's returned. But those are 3 obviously incredibly dangerous men.
And fans will be happy. Soto, Judge, and Stanton all in the lineup. Also noteworthy, Austin Wells is back in there. He'll catch Nestor Cortez, and Verdugo is going to round out the order. Now, speaking of Soto, Jack, you said it, a homecoming of sorts. He came up and was called up when he was just 19 years old by the Nationals. He won a World Series in 2019 with them. He played 5 seasons here. He really burst onto the scene that first year. I asked Aaron Boone what he's seen in the way of growth in Juan Soto from when he was 19 years old in the league until now.
Obviously, for me, just seeing him from afar and him being in the National League, just occasionally, you know, playing against him. He had some success against us, obviously. So he's one of those guys that, you know, you are aware of on the other side as one of the real great hitters in the game. And now that we've got to see him up close and personal, going back to spring training, to see just, you know, how serious he is about his craft, his routine, his work, his focus, the joy with which he plays the game. We've got to now see his greatness on an everyday basis. And I think, in a lot of ways, he's probably, if it's possible, maybe going to another level and probably having maybe his best season to date.
And it is wild to consider Juan Soto, though he's been in the league for a while, is still just 25 years old. It seems like he continues to get better and better. And really, guys, a pretty cool moment around 3 o'clock this afternoon. He was out over on the national side, hugging people, catching up, saying hello to people that were instrumental in him and his career as he was coming up in the Nationals organization. Now, you're actually going to hear from Juan Soto just before first pitch. I asked him how he thinks he's going to be received by this crowd, and he said he doesn't know. He doesn't know if they're going to boo. He doesn't know if they're going to cheer, but something tells me Nationals fans hope that Juan Soto is back here in D.C. When he was asked about that in the clubhouse, he said, I have to wait till I get to free agency. I'm not answering where I want to go, where I want to be. I'm just focused on playing baseball. And Aaron Boone himself said it's been so impressive the way he has handled this season, being with a new team, not being distracted by that looming free agency at the end of the season. It's time now for the injury report, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, and this one focuses on Yankee starter Luis Gil. Gil exited his last start with lower back tightness. The Yankees called it a lower back strain. There is good news. Aaron Boone said he's scheduled to throw aside, and he could only miss the minimum of time on the IL, so you could see him back out here fairly soon. It seems like he's moving in the right direction. There are still a bunch of guys that are rehabbing with the Somerset Patriots. Nobody is going to be immediately coming back. They're going to continue the rehab process, but certainly reinforcements on the way, Bob.
Meredith, thank you for that. We look forward to seeing you shortly with Ryan Rucco and John Flaherty. Now, all season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with a hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Jack is currently handicapping the president's race for later in the show.
Oh, it's Eddie.
Time for our first break. On the FanDuel Yankees pregame, Juan Soto is back in D.C., and now he's part of a dynamic duo with Aaron Judge. Or maybe it's a terrific trio, as Giancarlo Stanton has homered in 3 straight games. We talk more about the Bombers' offense next on Yes and the Yes app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. New FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today.
This is you, and this is your first hunch of the season.
It's parlay time.
With FanDuel, a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV will give you many more.
Buffalo. It's Broncos time. Psst. I'd take the over.
And you can easily act on whichever one speaks to you.
Eagles, Browns, Broncos, Bills. They all...
And make every moment more.
New customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. Plus, every customer gets a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. Only from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
Your memory is an amazing thing, but sometimes it can start to slow down. But did you know Prevagen can help keep your memory sharp? The secret is the powerful ingredient apoaquarin, originally discovered in jellyfish and found only in Prevagen. In a clinical study, Prevagen was shown to improve memory in subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. Stay sharp and improve your memory with Prevagen. Prevagen, in stores everywhere without a prescription.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Hyundai. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
Well, here we go with another one of those graphics. Most games with a home run in the same game. Yankees duos in a single season all time. Marison Mantle on top with 14. Giambi and Soriano, Judge and Rizzo with 13. And now Judge and Soto and Judge and Stanton with a dozen each. Let's just talk. We could talk trio. Let's talk duos. And, of course, Mantle, Maris, Gehrig, Ruth. We're throwing all those names out there with Judge and Soto.
And Judge and Soto belong very much in that conversation. And depending on what happens the rest of the way, Bob, we'll see where we end up ranking them amongst all those duos. You hear Ruth and Gehrig, and you think about the amazing numbers that they put up in their Hall of Fame careers. And in some ways, it seems a little crazy that anyone could match what they did. But I think it's harder to hit at the major league level right now. Ruth and Gehrig played while the sport was still segregated. So that, to me, means they didn't face the best pitchers. When they did face pitchers, they faced guys who were out there for the entire game. Judge and Soto are having to face guys who come in the middle of the game, throwing 95 to 99 because the sport has become so specialized. And one of the things that I look at, Bob, is total production on the season in terms of home runs. There's only been 5 teammates who have ever exceeded 100 home runs in a season. Ruth and Gehrig are part of that. So are Maris and Mantle, Bonds and Aurelia, McGuire and Langford, and A-Rod and Palmeiro. Judge and Soto are at 88. Book it. They're going to join that group. They will exceed or match 100 home runs.
And as we continue to talk about Aaron Judge this season in a historical perspective, Jack, we think of people who they see, 162 games a year, 150 maybe, and they have to be reminded what they're seeing is special. What they're seeing is Babe Ruth back in his day. Those are the comparisons, and sometimes you take it for granted.
I go back to Old Timers Day when you had Hall of Fame players, whether it was Jeter or Mariano Rivera. You had a player in Alex Rodriguez who came close to 700 career home runs. You had a player in CC Sabathia who I think will be walking into the Hall of Fame. They talked about Judge reverentially. These guys have all of their own accomplishments, but they're watching what Judge is doing, and even they are in awe of what he is doing. He gets a pitch to hit, Bob, and he is driving it. You have talked about how easy he makes it look. There was one curveball that he hit out, and you said to me, looks like he's playing wiffle ball. And that's not an exaggeration. Some nights it does look like Aaron Judge showed up on the corner, and all these little kids are playing, and he said, hey, can I play? And then he hits another home run.
It's incredible. He is batting third, obviously, tonight, playing center field as we take a look at the Yankees lineup brought to you by Toyota. Juan Soto batting 6 multi-home run games this season for Soto. That's the most in the majors. Glaber leading off, has a 20-game on-base streak, and then Giancarlo Stanton has homered in 3 straight games. Jack, he's at 23 for the season, and when he came back, and you see what he's done over the last 3, that lineup changed.
I will look at what he has been able to do lately and point ahead toward October, Bob. Can he stay healthy? Can he continue to hit at this level? And if he does, look at the success the Yankees might have. That number is stunning. The fact that they're 56 and 28 when he starts. He's got home runs in 3 straight games. And I'm telling Josh Isaac, our producer right now, if I need an X factor for the postseason, I'm giving it to him 5 weeks in advance. It's Giancarlo Stanton. We expect Judge to do it. We expect Soto to do it. But if Stanton can be that formidable hitter behind those 2 guys in the lineup, imagine every pitcher and every pitching staff trying to navigate around them. It wasn't able to be happened yesterday. I don't know what phrase that was. It didn't happen yesterday with the Rockies, and I think a lot of teams will have the same problem.
Are you willing to tell Josh that Stanton's your X factor tonight? Because we can always pull that off and play it on the postgame.
I'm going to say that he is my X factor tonight as well. Why not? I might as well say that. I might as well keep going. It's a lefty on the mound. Stanton has about a .600 career slugging percentage against lefties, and I think you have to give him a lot of credit, Bob, for coming back from that injury and getting into sync so quickly. He looks balanced. He looks comfortable. He looks very confident and ready to do damage.
All right, book it, Josh. Also, give us the Nationals lineup, by the way, courtesy of Toyota. No Nats have seen Nestor Cortez before, except in scouting video. C.J. Abrams, 26 doubles, 6 triples, 18 home runs this season. And then Dylan Cruz. See that? Those 4 dashes? That's because he's making his major league debut tonight. And as soon as you learn you're heading to the big leagues, you've got to call Mom to let her know, and that's just what Cruz did.
Can you hear me?
What's up, Mom?
Hey, honey.
What you up to?
Oh, I'm at Wayne Dixie. I'm gonna get some dinner.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Nothing much. Just hanging out here at school right now. But you got any plans coming up? This next few days?
Absolutely not.
Well, good, because we're going to come watch you play at Nationals Park against the Yankees on Monday.
Oh my God, honey. I'm so excited.
It's a great moment. The question is, did she finish the shopping? Is dinner getting made, or is she getting her way to Nationals Park right now?
I don't know if she had a cart or a basket at Winn-Dixie, but Bob, you leave the oatmeal and the bananas behind, or whatever Mrs. Cruz was shopping for. You have to rush home, make plans, go see your son play. I'm not sure who is the first organization or team that decided to have those kind of videos, but that's tremendous.
Yeah,
to be able to have that, the family has that forever. And I think the Nationals are telling you something about what they think about this player. You could have waited to call him up. Sure. This is a big deal. It's the Yankees coming to town. It's a team with October World Series aspirations. When the Nationals right themselves, they expect Cruz to be a big part of that. And all of their fans get to see him go up against a team that has Judge and Soto and Stanton and all the players we just discussed.
And just really quickly, if you're wondering why it's a big deal, he was the second overall pick last year behind Paul Skeens, who's been a big deal this season. So we'll see if Cruz can be the rest of the way. Now, what's that saying? If you can't beat him, join him? Well, what if you play him and then that game is suspended and so you join him to finish out that same game? We're going to talk Danny Jansen and some Major League history next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
Make this a summer to share in the 3-row Kia Sorento, the tech-forward Sportage, the available all-wheel drive Seltos, or the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus Telluride, each one recommended by Consumer Reports. This summer, visit your local Kia dealer. Get 0.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of select new 2024 Sportage and 2024 Sorento models.
At Domino's, our stores now have quality captains.
Impress me.
Those who demand perfection.
Topping distribution, horrible.
They're not afraid to criticize your pizza.